that we may see the face of Christ and hear His voice in our midst. For 28 years, Jesuit Communications has been promoting the Catholic faith and serving the nation through both traditional and new media. Hear us tackle national issues in light of Christian values on Usapang Kapatid, Pasakalye, and Radio Veritas. Watch our uplifting reflections on Kapet Pandasal and The Word Exposed, as well as our acclaimed TV specials. Listen to the inspiring and soothing music of Jesuit Music Ministry's original artists as you read our spiritually enriching books. To learn more about JustCom's mission of evangelization and education, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and our website, justcom.ph. To give a face to the faceless and a voice to the voiceless, that we may recognize Christ in them and hear His story in theirs. JustCom Music Ministry, music that uplifts the soul. Follow JustCom PH on Spotify and JustCom Music on YouTube. We are also on iTunes and Deezer.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ear.
Do you long for a good spiritual read? Or for literature that not only feeds the mind, but nourishes the soul as well? Do you want to be inspired, feel positive and hopeful about life? Then read The Windhover, the official magazine of the Jesuits in the Philippines. Written by Jesuits and their lay partners, The Windhover features real stories about the Jesuits and their various ministries. Be inspired. Be blessed. Subscribe to The Windhover. For inquiries, call the Philippine Jesuit Aid Association at telephone numbers 426-6001, locals 4890 or 4892. Once again, Philippine Jesuit Aid Association, telephone numbers 426-6001, locals 4890 or 4892.
Calling on all young male professionals. Do you wish to live an extraordinary life? Are you tired of the routine and mundane and long for a dynamic, adventurous, and even dangerous life? Do you wish to make your life count and hope to make an impact long after you're gone? Do you wish to live a life of service to society, to country, and to dear Mother Earth? Then you are the one we are looking for. Consider the Society of Jesus. Join the Church's gallant army and turn your world upside down. Call the Jesuits Vocations Promotions Team, 426-6101, local 3406. Once again, 426-6101, local 3406.
Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM.
Tara na't simulan ang inyong umaga sa mga magagandang refleksyon tungkol sa ating buhay at pananampalataya. Kasama sina Father J. Boy Gonzales at Father Nono Alfonso ng Kapisanan ni Jesus, Binibining Risa Singson Kaupeng ng Feast Magazine, Father Fiel Pareha mula sa Archdiocese ng San Fernando, Pampanga, at Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle. Dito sa Kapet Pandasal sa Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM.
Coming up next, Level Up exclusives on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
3 o'clock prayer. You died, Jesus, but the source of life flowed out for souls, and the ocean of mercy opened up for the whole world. O fountain of life, immeasurable divine mercy, cover the whole world and empty yourself out upon us. O blood and water, which flowed out from the heart of Jesus as a fountain of mercy for us, I trust in you. Holy God, holy mighty one, holy immortal one, have mercy on us and the whole world. Holy God, holy mighty one, holy immortal one, have mercy on us and the whole world. Holy God, holy mighty one, holy immortal one, have mercy on us and the whole world. Amen. Jesus, King of mercy, we trust in you.
Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM.
Radyo, 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 Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo, Radyo, Radyo Katipunan. Radyo, Radyo, Radyo Katipunan. Voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay at tenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo, Radyo, Radyo Katipunan. Radyo, Radyo, Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero sugod, todo sa kayon, tulong at tulong. Lipat na Blue Eagle, kaning giting nagigil. Blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, Radyo, Radyo Katipunan. Radyo, Radyo, Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo, Radyo, Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan.
Mga Katipuneros, it's time to level up! Your talk variety program showcasing the best in media and other fields. As we feature the most loved personalities and the best practices of what we truly refer to as Magis. Together with multi-awarded multimedia guru Mr. Noel Ferrer, let's all level up every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. here on Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM.
Paulit-ulit. Wala ko kaming bell ngayon. Pero meron kaming buzzer na kasama ngayon na sabi ko, hostage ko para makasama ko bago tayo mag-turnover dun sa SALT Teachers Forum. No, it's World Teachers Day pala today.
Yes,
sa
Happy
B.
Teachers Day.
Yan kayo totoo nyo pa. Side A, side B. So, hindi lang mo pang side. No. Yan kasi, siguro nabitin siya from the previous show.
Yep.
Tapos divorce mo na sila ni Pat. Never ba kayo nanding?
Ito na naman tayo. Nakakatawa ko yan. Bigla na segue na lang topic.
Tatay na siya.
Of course naman. We're supportive of that. Nakakatawa. Matrain tayo dyan eh.
Okay, so
diba?
all set already, all the best. All caps, it's time for Ateneo to level up.
Yes.
Today we observe, yun nga, World Teachers Day. Actually, month, itong taong to si Justin, we're required, di ba? Nasa memo na we're supposed to feature our favorite teachers.
Yes.
So may question dun sa IG ko, Bianca. Sino yung favorite teachers mo? Are those terror types, yung mas strict, or yung mas pwede mong maging kaibigan?
Sa akin ngayon, at least for my experience ko, mas close ako dun sa mga terror hanggang ngayon.
Talaga?
Oo.
Okay.
Ewan ko kung bakit.
You attract
Terror
na
daw
what
din
you
kasi
read.
ako.
Ganun
Terror din daw siguro ako.
Naman siguro, yung mga tao. Kasi I think people are more open to learning pag medyo relaxed at mas cool na kaysa natatakot. Kasi rather na sumusunod sila hindi dahil sa takot. Malalaman mo yan pagkatulad ni Pat, magulang ka na.
Pero naman, nagturo rin naman ako.
Oo
Kaya
nga. So,
medyo nagigets ko naman yung mga na dyan. And ako, nafe-feel ko na parang okay lang maging terror basta may himas.
totoo yan. Yung haplos and sampal.
Oo. Proseso mo.
Diba? Totoo yan.
Para naman hindi ba trauma yung mga bata,
Totoo. So,
hi
it's World
kids.
Teachers Day. Ngayon, tingnan natin kung ano nangyari dun sa buong linggo natin. So, nag-all about love concert. Ayan na. Sinuportahan mo ba yan?
Sabi ko nga, hindi ako nanood, pero I was there in
parang yung mga
spirit.
taong kasama ko dito sa stasyon ngayon, ang laki-laki ng suporta nila nagpa-promote pero hindi sila pumunta.
Ano naman, prayer warrior ako ng all about love. Oo. I was loving my way.
Okay,
Ano mo yun? From...
No, but we can say that the pinakamataas na viewership was last episode which featured Manaling, Father Manaling and Louie Ocampo. Probably because nag-effort si Justin na talagang mag-film dun sa rehearsals. And also we featured naman some other stuff like the Noel Fun Museum. But otherwise, it was such a good project. You're showing it that Justin did at least the curtain call. Martin Niveros there between Escalante. Si Eric Santos hindi ko napanood kasi sa matinee siya. So si Arman Ferrer nandun. At saka yun si Stephanie. You know, the choirs. No, well, of course, Ateneo Chamber Singers, Bukas Palad, Hangad, Tinig Barangka, and of course, ABS-CBN, Philharmonic Orchestra. Ganyan yan, parang pag nandun ka sa concert, parang nanalangit. Sa langit. At saka parang bumabait ka. Yun, whenever you attend, yun, di ba ginintuan kayo, di ba?
Oo, iyakan portion ka dyan. Kaya yung mga nasa tech.
Parang ka nag-retreat actually.
Exactly.
So it's really that. Parang feeling ko nung Sunday, nakailang misa. Di ba parang when you sing daw, it's actually prayers. Yun sa paano yun? Ang dami. Nag-misa ka na, tapos kanta-kanta pang gano'n.
Hindi holy-holy ka na talaga. Manal ka na talaga.
Louie and Manaling are there. And then I was telling you about someone I haven't seen for like 3 decades. And may picture siya dyan, si John Burkent Leong from Xavier School na 30 years kami hindi nagkita. You know what? Pinahama ko kasi yan when I was in the student council.
Okay.
So, bagong salta yan sa college.
Okay.
Sino yung pwedeng patakbuhin? Yun yung patakbo ka ng mga student leaders. Galing siyang high school. He was a Xavier Awardee and valedictorian. Sabi ko, John, takbo ka, science rep kasi physics. ME physics, parang gano'n.
Okay.
Tumakbo, natalo siya. Hindi siya mawasok. Ang nangyari, yung hindi umabot yung quota ng votes. Parang gano'n. Hindi naman siya, unlike ngayon, natatalo ka ng abstain. Ngayon, hindi lang umabot yung votes. So parang na-trauma yata siya, hindi na siya tuloy ng student government ever. So ganun ka-apathetic. So paano pa rin? So, hindi. Kakaibat si John kasi he lived with the Mangyans for 9 years. And alam mo, parang akong nakakausap ng Diyos. Hindi ko nga alam the past few days. Ako ayoko pa kunin ni Lord. Pero may mga ganun may sinisend sa'yo yung Diyos na tipong, well, Noel, it's really not about us. Sabi ko ganun, you're Xavier Awardee, you're valedictorian. Ang dami mong pwedeng magawa. But he chose to be with the Mangyans for 9 years. And then, he was sent by Howard D for his scholarship sa hydro energy. So, may PhD siya doon, Pagbalik niya dito, kala mo yayaman na siya. Hindi. Ang ginawa niya, pumunta ng Sulu. At nag-provide ng water. Parang, may ganun.
Nice.
So, you heard of him?
Yeah, I heard of him. I know of him, but di pa kami yun.
Pero paano yun? Pag nakakamit ka ng ganung tao, parang, hindi ako worthy. Parang ganun yung feeling mo.
Parang,
May
it's more
meron
like,
ka meet na gano'n.
meron din naman, mga
Oo.
ganyan. Pero parang iniisip ko na lang na parang, I aspire to be you. Mga ganon.
That's true.
How to be you po in my own way. Kung ano yung kaya kong gawin.
Kapatid, tas yun,
hindi ko kaya
nag-text
magdala
na.
ng
Well, share ko, sorry. Hindi naman niya nakikinig kasi wala.
may replay po tayo.
Naku, paano yun? Tapos sabi niya, ganitong level Now in the boat and will be gone for 9 days. Ignatius teaches us spiritual indifference where we are indifferent to health or sickness, wealth or poverty, success or failure, long or short life. So sabi ko, naku, wag naman muna. What makes us choose between one from the other is if it helps us implement the reason for which we are created, which is to love. Then congratulations on your recognition and your efforts to reach out to others through media. Tapos ganun parang, ano ba yun? Parang,
Ikaw daw yung John Ong ng industriya mo, di ba?
pero kakaiba yung tipong ito hindi ko alam kung pwedeng ma-review na he has chosen a very simple life na tipong hindi siya unlike us. Pinaplano natin i-control yung buhay natin kung ano yung gagawin natin at age ganyan, dapat ganito na na-achieve.
Right.
But there are just some people and I'm amazed and I'm really thankful and grateful that I know them also na tipong hindi nagpaplano, pumupunta lang kung saan sila dinadala ng Diyos.
Yun, naku, napaka-ignition yan. Go where you are needed, di ba?
Matawa. Parang hindi natin ma-practice.
Alam mo, ang trick dyan, dapat maging kaladkarin daw tayo. Dapat maging kaladkarin daw tayo sa tamang paraan.
So, ganun yung nangyari sa kanya. At saka parang hindi attached to any material things.
Oo nga, tama, very
So, kailangan simplify. Ganun
Ang
siguro.
galing.
No?
Ano naman yung na-feel mo nung natanggap mo yung message na yun?
Nung sabi ko, ay, ibang level. Parang, I'm so not worthy. Parang, baka mundo ako.
Baka bigla ka na lang magkasabalutan dito at bigla kang pumunta rin ng
Hindi naman talaga. I think I'm just doing the things din naman
Right.
na pwede kong gawin. Na may konsensya ka pa rin naman. Pero iba, some people are called differently siguro.
Yeah, po.
But iba pa rin yung tawag talaga sa'yo when you're there in the area siguro. May challenge sa lifestyle, I guess.
Oh, lalo na kung kunyari sanay ka sa comforts of life,
kapatid,
diba?
paano
Tapos
ba
pagdating
yun?
mo doon, biglang culture shock.
No, originally I wanted to feature him here.
Okay.
Kaso mo, sabi niya, he's not one to like talk about what he does. So parang, tama rin naman yung gano'n. So, pero ang ganda lang na may mga gano'n tayo sa
Oo.
buhay.
Pero sana nga ma-invite mo para at least to inspire and to mo yun.
Na parangalan siya dun sa Savior na outstanding alumni. Kasama sa outstanding alumni. Tapos nag-speech nga siya. And gano'n din siya. Parang some people talaga pag na-meet mo, parang na-meet mo yung Diyos. Na gano'n. Anyway, another thing.
Okay,
Ayan
ito
na.
na.
Pinoy playlist. Dapat nandyan ka. Hindi mo inattendan yung All About Love. The Pinoy
supportan
Playlist
natin tayo.
Festival will start on Friday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 2 weekends yon. So, si Mr. C, si Moy Artista, tsaka ako yung nag-curate nung sasabihin mo kung sino-sino yung nandoon. So, game.
Oh my God, babasahin ko
Sana
na.
okay. At yung sino kilala, mag-comment ka para nakakatuwa.
Alright, sige.
Game.
October 11.
October 11. Okay. So, ayusin mo yan, Justin.
Okay.
Kung sino lang gusto mong puntahan. Okay, game.
Okay. Oh my God. Kung lahat. Sige,
Oh, yan
Fourth
na.
Impact, of course.
Okay. Oo, yung sa nanalo sa di ba? Fourth Impact yung sa British Got Talent. Parang ganun yung contest nila. Parang ganun. Okay, go.
Siya. Tapos ABS-CBN Chamber Orchestra.
Okay.
Of course, kasi nga hindi nga natin sinuportahan
Ikaw
daw.
talaga.
Ayan.
Kailangan panoorin first day sila.
Oh, yeah, sige. Tapos
Sino
acapella
pa?
go. My God, syempre,
Ang galing, the
acapella
best
tayo.
acapella, ano?
I love. And then, syempre, ito very powerful.
Oo.
Bullet Dumas.
Oo, ang galing-galing.
Kailangan din yan. Diba?
So, magaling. Yes.
Oo. Ito, fan
Okay.
ako nito, Syudad.
Ay, oo.
Syudad, Color It Red. Ganyan siya.
Bagay.
Diba?
Okay,
Love
go.
it. Ito, hindi ko siya kilala.
Si Gucci Lorenzana, ex ni Kay Abad, na nasa band.
Right.
Oh, may right siya.
Hindi,
Si Gucci Lorenzana.
Madali yung children's special. Yes, napanood ko na
Magaling sila, yes.
Marga, JJ. Marga.
Alam mo, hindi ko kilala. Pero
Okay.
siguro sana magaling.
Yes, of course, Mr. Martin Rivera.
Oo, with Louis Ocampo, parang gano'n na concert na parang okay game.
Marty Franca, Blues Pop. Love.
Ay, magaling siya mag-compose,
Love.
actually, yes.
Okay. Monologue. The
Oo.
Moonshine, of course. Nancy Brew.
Alam na yung mga
Tabu.
bagets. Hindi ko siya kilala lahat eh.
Ayun, hello.
Oo, hello. Anong kulay na ng buhok niya? Anong kulay ng buhok ni Zay?
Ash na yan.
Okay.
Nandito yung pan ko.
about it. Si Charis magaling din.
Magaling siya.
Magaling,
Actually,
no?
Oo, magaling siya.
Ano yun, parang pag kinasify mo, ano sila? Emergent, dominant, residual culture. Paano ba yun?
Hindi, parang nasa, okay.
Pero nandun na sila, parang senior na sila. Kasi kung 1 year, may incubation period, naging super sikat, tapos biglang, ano na sila?
Maka-classify ko kasi
Emergent.
sila sa indie.
Indie pa rin.
Kasi sa atin na, okay, indie kasi, on a global scale, it's a genre.
Ang ganda.
Pero sa atin kasi, ang indie sa atin, it's also a culture.
Galing,
Diba?
galing.
Yung pag wala ka sa label, indie ka.
Maalam.
Pero actually, hindi
Okay.
talaga, it's a genre. So parang sila, at least most of them, makaklasify ko sa indie. Tapos yung indie, lalagay mo pa,
Galing.
pop indie, or folk indie, electro indie.
Buti
pop-
nandito ka para sa
ganon.
Teacher's Day. You're
Oo.
teaching me that. Wala ako masyadong alam dun sa... She's so techie because she's the one in charge of... Sabihin mo na yung
Yes, oo.
aggregator yung tawag sa'yo.
Aggregator for
Nako, panalo ka din sa sa Scrabble. Yung aggregator, mataas ang score. Pwede kang panglaban sa trailblazing the airwaves si Justin, di ba? Last week to the presentation. So, aggregator.
Yes,
Double
you're the
G.
aggregator.
Okay.
Oo,
Okay,
yun.
game.
So,
Next
move on tayo. Day 2, October 12.
That's a Saturday.
Yes.
Go.
Oh my God, yung totoo
Ang
ba?
dami. Oo. Paano Veggies coming here, flying in from Cebu?
Amazing.
Yes.
Bayhana, of course.
Of course, we love Bayhana.
We love Bayhana.
Pag simple-simple ang galing.
Ang galing ng arreglo nila.
Yes,
Ano siya,
yes,
eargasm siya,
yes.
ganyan. Ang haba naman ang pangalan nito, Banda 31 Original of Santa Maria, Bulacan Incorporated.
Ang galing. Nagpapapansin sila. Pansinin natin. Oo naman, yes.
Okay,
Dapat
Brown
nandyan sila.
Academy is there.
Oo.
Bugoy Drilon and Daryl Ong.
Oh, di ba?
Ang
Pop,
ano,
okay.
Combination. Fed,
Correct.
Luis Reyes, Jervin
Okay, alam mo si Fe.
Flores.
Panahon niya ni Father Nono.
Yes na lang ako. Kasi
Oo,
narinig-
komedyante.
I heard of-
Oh, yes.
I heard of-
Yung abakada ng Pasko, ganun level. Kay Father Nono naman mag-a-appeal yan. Okay, go.
Ito naman si, of course, Jervin Flores. Ito yung napapanood.
Classical,
Oo,
yeah.
I love it. At yung mga GMA music.
Oh, yan,
na
under side niya. Okay,
of course,
go.
si Princess Velasco, Golden.
Si Golden, wag lang siya mag-gold. Di ba? Kasi parang napakalit naman kung naka-gold outfit. Pero mahilig siya kasi sa ganun.
Golden.
Oh, you are gold.
Diba? John
Pero magaling yan.
Paladiday and
Yes.
Garrett Bolden. Oh, di ba kung may golden tayo, meron tayong Garrett Bolden. Love it. Okay.
Okay, go.
Next, punta tayo sa medyo jazz, classical, John
Meron siya
Estaka,
ganun.
Jorik Catalbas,
Okay.
Pop Theater.
Yes, yes.
Okay, isipin ko kung mamaya kung sino siya. Mel Villegas. Ito
Si
na.
Mel, yung AMP band, amp band. Oo, with
And
Mitch.
Mitch.
Yes,
Wow.
okay, galing.
And Bojo Fly, panahon ko to.
Si Mel is the father of Rhea Villana, na good musical director. Okay, game.
Nice. And then,
Yun na pa.
continuation.
Yes.
Nanette Inventor.
Okay, at least comedy.
Okay. Rani Raimundo, music siya.
Yan yung banda niya. Okay.
Ronnie's Company Call, OPM.
Yes. Ronnie Fortich worked with Disneyland, Hong Kong Disneyland, and he's mounting those two shows there. Okay. Yung mga nakasama niya sa Hong Kong Disneyland, at saka yung mga tinugtugan niya, yun.
Nice.
Okay, next.
Ryan Sayab, singer.
Yes.
Star Shoes. Electronic na sila.
Oh, the third one yan, excited din
And
tayo.
then Tops.
Tops sa Sara, yes. Oh, ano, Tops sa Sara, go. Song. Oh, game, before I let you go, di ba? Of course. Anong band?
Iniisip ko kung ano eh.
Naku, wala. Ay, naku.
Freestyle.
May delay ka. Buti di ba sinabing Sabado Boys? Kasi for a while, he was associated with the team, di ba? Oo, eh.
Iniisip ko si Top kasi parang
Nako,
nandun siya sa
Tanong
feed
kita.
ko.
Tanong ko sana. Ano ka ba, top or bottom? Okay, next.
Nagmula ako sa mga umattend. Diba?
Okay, next. Day 3.
October 13.
Okay.
Napagod ako.
Kami ng ganitong show. Pwede pala. Okay, game.
Nakakaloka. Game. Kunay kay Abby.
Abby, oo.
Ateneo Chamber Singer.
Yes.
Of course.
Galing the best.
Sino Bandurias?
Jade Durias and the kids. Again, yung collab. Yes.
This one, ang cute na.
Yes.
Bold Star. Okay.
Yes.
Ito, contemporary original Filipino Christian praise music.
No, di ba? Arnel Depano, of course.
Okay, sige.
Ano yung popular na ginawa ni Arnel Depano? Alam mo yan. Lead Me Lord. Yun siya talaga claim to fame. Hindi. Pero yun sa Arnel. Who was an Atenista. Okay, so at least, game.
And then, Extrapolation.
Extrapolation is the band of Zia Quizon.
Zia Quizon.
Okay, yes, of Jaja Padilla, yes.
Amazing. Okay, and then Itchy Worms, of course.
Yes, and they're having a collaboration with the company. So yung
Itchy
team
Worms
kasi
with the
dyan,
company.
ang ganda, di ba? Parang ang iba yung sound, pero yun ngayon gusto natin more and more people do collabs kasi that's a buzzword now eh.
Yes. Kasi yun kasi, napansin mo, hindi na siya natatali sa genre. Mas
That's
natatali
true.
na sa mood.
Tama yan. Sana pati sa bansa, hindi lang sa music, di ba parang yung DOTR, pati MMDA, collab para maayos yung traffic.
Yes,
Di ba?
para mag-good mood tayo.
From music to national situation. Ganun talaga dapat mas maraming collab. Go.
Game. Ang maganda nitong collab na to, Father and Daughter. Joey and Clara Ben.
Yes, Joey Ben in my era. Tapos Clara your era. Kaibigan ko si Joey Ben. Anong kanta ni Joey Benin?
Oh my God, sandali lang.
Oy, pero alam ko yung kanta ni Clara eh. Joey Benin, ikaw, go. Of course you know, theme song ng teleserye ng Liz Ken. B, hello. Forevermore was composed by Joey Benin, who was with Side A. Eva Marie, and marami pang iba. The hits of Side A. Si Clara Benin, I know because of Tila. Ang galing, no?
Yung
so,
bago niya rin maganda. Yung medyo bago-bago niya.
Diba? So maganda yung parang collab yung mag-ama tapos sing each other's hits.
Pero hindi ko pa sila napapanood na magkasama.
Ayun, first time actually mangyayari dyan. So alam niyo na linggo kayo. Hindi, actually, araw-araw pwede na. Okay, yun. Pwede ka may media pass if you're like doing coverage. Sabi niyo you're doing coverage. So, yun, go.
Ayan, just alam na natin. Yun siya. Philpop, ano to? Yung lahat ng Philpop.
Hindi, yung... Pinili na knowing them, matataray din naman yun. Mamabait pero matataray yung hindi maganda. Yung mga finalists, parang gano'n.
Okay, akala ko yung pati yung mga taga Davao nandito, siya kayo mga taga Lingayen.
Malay mo, kaya naman nila. Go.
Pinotela.
Oo, magaling rin yan. Yes.
Rachel Jedor.
Herodias, classical singer.
Okay, and then Ricky Davao.
Oo, di ba an actor singing kasi he really sings. Then yung musical na larawan, he was the original Tony Javier dun sa musical. So, okay.
Oh my God, ang ganda nung larawan.
So, oo.
Tama. Okay na.
Game,
okay.
next.
And then Room for Shadow. Bago din sila. And then True Faith.
Okay. Ira ko. Okay, go. Next. Then, the next week na.
Okay, next week na. Day 4.
Okay, go.
Isang linggo. Wait, Friday.
So, Friday ulit. So, my God.
And then Bryson.
Kilala mo yan?
Kilala ko ang Bryson.
My God, yung dami ko dapat kilalanin.
Chandler.
Buti pala nandito siya.
Yan.
Okay.
Debonair District.
Sina Toma Kayabyaba ng Mr. C. Okay, game.
Hindi ba siya sa Pinatera? Pero sige.
Okay.
Tapos nun, Field Day. Ito, kilala rin natin.
Okay.
Flying EPs, yes.
Kilala niyo yung Flying EPs?
Rock and roll.
Ganda, bagets.
Henry Katindig.
Okay.
Uchi Mickey.
Oo.
And then, Joe and Mike Chan.
Yes. Yung mga, so marami tayong Chan. 1 Chan, 2 Chan, 3 Chan, pangatlong Chan ito. No, as we speak now, nagsa-start ng SOD Congress sa mga teachers. Pupunta tayo sa kanila.
Di kailan teachers are seed sowers, no?
So, mamaya, we'll go straight to them kasi gusto natin silang pakinggan. Pero after na siguro ng lahat ng dapat natin sabihin sa programa.
Tigilan na natin ang mga komento.
Mas natutuwa muna sila sa atin.
Diyos ko, pag pinupunta na spot ako. Okay, Chris Lawrence. Yes, Corey, magaling din siya.
Kilala mo, okay.
Oo.
Ang galing
Hindi pa lang pwede mag-spoil, pero yes, okay si Corey. Luminous. Moonstar 88.
Of course. Nagulat ako Moonstar 88, yung migraine. Yun yung title ng kanta. Alam mo yung kanta, migraine? Yes. Imagine wala yung migraine talaga dun sa lyrics. Oo nga pala. Oo, pero mabait yung Mish. Si Mish ay napakagaling na artist.
Kanilang front.
Okay. Iba na. Okay, next.
And then, Noel Cabangon, of course.
Of course. Jazzcom artist. Okay.
Philippine Opera Company's Harana.
Okay.
Rock of Ages.
Oo. Para musical review. So, mayroon silang slot doon.
Yes. The Ones.
Alam mo yon. Ah, alam niya lahat. Okay. Okay. Aray ko. Okay.
Sabihin mo daw sila.
Makikilala ko sila next week. Okay.
Oh, as
Next.
general.
Alam mo rin.
Awit Awards.
No, yung mga nominated sa Awit Awards or yung bibigyan ng mga major na hindi napapalabas sa TV dyan na nandun sila. So it becomes an industry thing also.
That's
That's
nice
good.
naman.
Yun.
Okay.
Next.
Bo Cerudo.
Oh,
Brad
Bo Cerudo
Pack.
yun ba kasama sa Unforgettables?
Classically age ang kanyang genre.
Oh?
Brat Pack.
Alam niya talaga. Okay.
Coke Balipata.
Ayan, ang ganda niyan. They had an album pelikula, pero kasama niya ngayon yung sa pundakit, yung mga tinuturuan niya mga violinist at cellist ng mga bata. Ang galing nga eh. Galing Olonga po yan, tapos pupunta yan dito.
Pati yung mga bata?
Oo.
Wow,
Oo.
okay.
But that's a Sunday kasi. Okay.
Yeah, Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah,
yan.
October 19.
Okay, next.
Ethan Lucas.
Kilala mo ah. Mapagpanggap din to. Okay, game.
Oo nga pala, kailangan natin mamadali.
Okay. Ha? Baka band. Okay, next.
And then Isa Rodriguez.
Okay.
Janine Tenyoso.
Ay, from Viva. Okay.
And then Jim and Buboy.
Oo, of the Apo, yes.
John Santos.
John Santos, okay.
Mark Carpio.
Okay. Uy, sikat yan. Di ba? Maraming mga songs na nasa air. Oo. Narcabic is very good as a songwriter too. As a singer-songwriter. Sino pa yun?
Si Nicole.
Asensia, yes.
At yung big band.
Big Band. And Gian Magdangal. Yun nga, nagko-collab. Sila ba? Hindi. Ba't pa kasama sila doon sa act nila? Anong basta? Bakit? Ba't parang close sila kasi they will share daw the set?
The stage.
Bakit?
Oo, ganun siya. Ewan ko, baka yun genre nga. It's a genre.
Okay, sige mamaya
Philippine tenors. RJ Jimenez. Yes, kilala natin si
RJ, oo.
Robert Poole. At yung Star Music Artist, medyo bago-bago itong
Yes, yes.
Junico, MJMCO, Critico, Miguel Ordon. Sound of
Okay.
Trumpets, Tyra and Yumi.
Yes. Okay, Tyron, you mean?
Working Stiff, and Yisanigo.
Okay. Yan, last day. Yan yung
Last day.
kakaiba.
Right. Anyo.
Okay.
Basil Valdez.
Basil will have a set and he will be awarded parang for music excellence and performance. Okay,
And
Gil.
then Bayang Barrio.
Bayang, of course.
Better Days.
Better Days iba
Yes,
band, no?
sila.
Okay.
And then Charito with Joey Quirino.
Okay.
Davey,
Just, ang galing na songwriter.
Ebe Dancel.
Ebe, of course. So,
Hangad, magaling din.
Hangad. Talaga kailangan sabihin. Oo naman, no?
diba?
Si Chad Arcino, yung mga dating galing hangad manonood yan para sa araw na yan.
Okay, and
So,
si
yan.
Imago.
Imago.
Joanna Ampil.
Joanna, before siya mag-Cats, nagawin niya yan. Okay.
Miss Ramon.
Oh.
Na nag-launch na ang galing ng kanta niya.
Ano yan? Anong jazz?
Actually, R&B nakalagay dito sa
R&B,
pero kasi if you look at or if you see her perform, medyo soulful.
Di ba gano'n? Ibang klase siyang nasa performance. Totoo eh.
Pero mas soul siguro.
Siguro.
Rather
Game.
than, okay. And then the company.
The company na magkakaroon with the Itchy Worms also. Yes.
Yung kanina ba? Yung Itchy Worms.
Ganun din sila. Magaganon sila. Oh,
Ay,
ang galing nga
so,
eh.
parang siyang the company featuring
Yes, yes. Sana nga mas maraming ganon. Parang ngayon, yung Pat and B and Level Up, yan, at least andyan ka.
Next na dito na rin si Patrick.
Nako, ibang tatanong ko doon. Parang Gian Magdangal and Nicole yung tatanong ko.
Tayo kay Tim Pavino. Tapos we are imaginary.
Okay. Kinuna mo. Okay. Tapos na yan. Yun yung ano. Sandali nga, ano yung Nicole? Ano yung Nicole?
Hindi, ang alam ko lang kasi. Bigla lagi ka rin sila, diba? Kailangan.
Okay. Ano?
Siya. Hindi, pero I'm working with Nicole now for the
Okay.
distribution.
Nicole Asensio is the apo of Fides Cuyugan Asensio na panahon naman ni Father Noel.
Ano siya, pamangkin
Ni
din.
Jenny na lang siguro.
Very influential ng pamilya ni Nicole.
Nicole, Fides. Oo kasi. Pod si Enrile. Enrile, di ba? The Enriles.
The Laurel.
Asensio
Former
Laurel.
president and
Oo,
former
nga,
vice
correct.
president. Yun. Tapos
Hindi mo sinasagot yung tanong. Ano yung connection nila ni Gian Magdangal?
Alam ko lang talaga they share the stage. So alam ko Basta iba yung alam ko.
Okay, sige na nga. Anyway, today also, we celebrate the 55th birthday of a friend. Kaya ako na ganito si Francis M. He would have been 55 years old kung buhay siya. Inaanak ko yung anak niya si Clara, yung bunso. And then, before tayo mag-cut dun sa Salt seminar, yun, I want to play this song, Kaleidoscope World, kilala siya. Pero revival ni Mike, DJ Mike.
Okay.
Have you heard of it?
Okay. Hindi pa
Ito yung after mamatay ni Kiko, nagpaalam si Mike na can I do a tribute.
Okay.
Ito yung ginawa niyang version. Tapos comment tayo pagkatapos sa turnover na tayo dun sa Teacher's Day, okay? So, eto na po ang kanta ni DJ Mike na ginawa ni Francis M, who's celebrating his 55th anniversary in heaven today. Ang dami na.
So many faces, so many races, different voices, different choices. Some are mad while others laugh. Some live alone with no better half. Others grieve while others curse, and others mourn behind a big black hearse. Some are pure and some have bread. Some are sober and some are wasted. Some are rich because of fate. Some are poor with no food on their plate. Some stand out while others blend. Some are fat and stout while some are thin. Some are friends and some are foes. Some have some while some have most. Every color, every hue is represented by me and you. Take a slide in the slow. Take a look in the kaleidoscope. Spin around, make a twirl. In this kaleidoscope world. Some are great and some are few. Others lie while some tell the truth. Some say poems and some do sing. Others sing through their guitar strings. Some know it all while some act dumb. Let the bass line strum to the bang of the drum. Some can swim while some will sink, and some will find their minds and think. Others walk while others run. You can't talk peace and have a gun. Some are hurt and start to cry. Don't ask me how and don't ask me why. Some are friends and some are foes. Some have some while some have most. Yeah. Every color, every hue is represented by me and you. Take a slide in the slow. Take a look in the
Nag-office meeting dito. Yes! Before we turn over to the teacher's forum. Anyway, we'd like to thank Joy. Si Joy na meron ng ano sa Banaw. Ayan yung ano mo. Every Friday, yan may supply kami ng cheese rolls dito. Thank you na rin sa McDo. Meron na kaming McDo. Yun, anyway. Yung sasabihin mo na yung ano klaseng version yun? Hele version. No? Kasi kinanta niya yan ng burial ni Francis M. So, yun, 55th anniversary, 55th birthday in heaven.
Kaleidoscope World Dim version.
Okay. Minsan dito na si Lester ng Jesuit Music Ministry. Pinapaalala niya po na i-download niyo na po yung One More Gift na available na sa Spotify.
Yes, sa Spotify.
Okay.
Pwede niyo rin po ma-download sa Apple Music.
Ayan na, yes.
And YouTube as well.
Ayun. May tinatanong ako sa kanya, Lester. Well, everyone is in, kunyari, YouTube and meron ng I Want. Di ba? Parang ganun digital streaming.
Right.
People are going into podcast. So sabi ko, ay, may iba pa ba pang paraan? So ngayon, ipapa-lecture tayo sa kanya. Kay B kung ano yung
Hindi yung podcast kasi, yun nga, parang rin siya kasi internet radio. Ang difference niya, kahit
parang ganito, di ba? Yes.
Pero kasi kahit nakasabihin natin, nandun din siya sa platform kung saan pwede ka makinig ng music. Like Spotify, ganyan. It does not, kumbaga, earn. Na parang per stream siya, ganyan.
Inano na namin ni Lester na hindi talaga kami yayaman. I
Podcast
guess.
is more kasi, it's more ad-supported. Ganun siya.
Pero siguro for Jesuit Music Ministry, okay kaming maglako. Pero
kailangan mong bayaran yung service to put it out there. Para kang nagbabayad ng spot, ganun siya. Yes.
Really?
Iba kasi yung deal ng with the aggregator. With the aggregator, iba yung deal. Kasi hindi pa kasi kami nagpo-podcast eh. Hindi pa.
Galing ha.
Yun.
Okay, next. Lester ko naman mag-vlog. After All About Love, ang dami mong ginagawa. Kasi may darating dito, di ba?
Yes, we have we will have David Haas.
Ayan na.
To those of you who do not know him, he's
mahirap spell kasi hindi mo pwedeng double A. Okay, pero mura lang yun sa Scrabble. Iba pa rin ang aggregator with a G. And trailblazing with a Z. With a Z. Okay, so anong mangyayari? So may collab, di ba? Parang gano'n? Or
yes.
Darating siya.
Jesuit Communications is the one producing the event together with Savior School. Thank you, Father Ari.
Savior. Puro kami nagpupuri-puri ng Savior. Kaya alam mo na si John Ong. parang buzzword. Yung taga-Savior din, my God, yun nga, parang Diyos sila. So si Father Ari, nandun siya sa concert, di ba? Sa All About Love. Okay,
so the event for David Haas will happen on November 9. That's a Saturday. The workshop will be from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. And then there's a concert from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. with
ayan na. Bukas Palad yung nakita ko. Ay,
Bukas Palad, Hangad. Ateneo Chamber Singers.
Okay.
Pansol Choir.
Galing
Tinig Barangka. And Mary the Queen Choir.
Galing.
Tapos Father Madaling Francisco. And then
Father Arnel, hindi mo sinama?
We're just waiting for Father Arnel. Okay. And
parang napakapit ka gano'n. Oo naman.
To confirm.
Galing. Ang galing.
Kami sa stage.
Oo nga.
Malaki yung stage mo.
Tatalunin niya yung All About Love concert.
Walang po kakasya.
My God! Ang ganda. Ito na. Sige, ako rin naman nagpa-plug siya. December 11 naman, ayun na, the second Noel. Ayun na, the second Noel. Diyan sa Arete, pero hindi na sa Hyundai Theater. My God, kapatid, paano yun? Sana huwag umulan katulad nung nangyayari ngayon. Sa amphitheater na, sa open field na.
Okay.
And then I just had a talk kanina and napa-agree namin si Mr. Pagsy. Kasi it's the 40th anniversary of Kaharian ng Araw, which is for me, my favorite Stibal play. Yung iba
I haven't seen that yet.
Yun na nga, hindi pa. Pero gagawin daw nila sa Xavier Nuvali. So pwede natin panood. Dayuhin natin yung Nuvali talaga sa Nuvali sa January. But we're doing review or a musical review or excerpts from yun nga Kaharian ng Araw. Alam mo yung kanta ni Ikay Aking Kaibigan?
Dito sa the second Noel.
Yan, kasama sila. Tapos yun nag-commit na rin ako. Hindi mag-charge yan si Eric Balante, anong ABS. Philharmonic Orchestra. Yun na nga. So,
Hindi mag-charge si Eric Bulante?
hindi daw. Para apostolate nila. And of course, all the choirs again. Parang ang bilis na mag-confirm pag ganyan. So, masaya naman. And then, ito nga, Teachers Day, Teachers Month actually. So, bago tayo doon, sige, gusto kong gumawa ng special sa kanya before the end of the month actually. Pero, ito yung interaction ko para kung sabi ko, nakita yung Diyos na naman kanina, si Mr. Pagsy. So, let's roll his, short message for Teachers Day. Tapos doon, balik tayo sa atin bago tayo doon sa seminar. Parang ayaw natin i-cut doon sa seminar.
Go, Mr. Pagsy. Well, teachers are seed sowers, no? We scatter as many seeds as we can every day, and they fall on different kinds of ground, on rocky soil, on weeded soil, on by the roadside where birds.
Go, Mr. Pagsy.
Well, teachers are seed sowers, no? We scatter as many seeds as we can every day, and they fall on different kinds of ground, on rocky soil, on weeded soil, on by the roadside where birds can take them, and fortunately some fall on very fertile soil, and it surpasses our expectations, especially for me because I'm a high school teacher. I'm amazed at how far many of my students have gone beyond my expectations. I am a very happy and a very grateful person for having for God having called me into basic education.
So, Mr. Pagsy, what's the most fulfilling thing? Like when people tell you, thank you, or you were my teacher, or you taught me this.
Oh, yes. That's one of my biggest joys, no? That at the end of my life, I say to myself, may kabuluhan naman pala yung buhay ko. I like the word that a movie actress used. I forget na lang Sabi, may kapararakan yung buhay ko. I like the word kapararakan because I looked it up in dictionary, I could not find it. So I had to use my common sense and say, what's the root word? Para kanino, para sa ano?
And it should be beyond you.
Kapararakan is a beautiful word.
Yeah.
And
Maraming salamat.
may kapararakan ang maging high school teacher.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Patsy.
Yeah.
Maraming salamat po.
that made me appreciate how Ateneo does things differently. In UP, we were taught to teach with the pedagogy of terror. You terrorize your students and they will learn. In the Ateneo, I taught care of the person. In UP, I was taught how to survive. Things like, I had no classroom. My classroom was very small for 10 students and I had 50 students. And the next classroom was the theater for 100. And the teacher only had 3 students. So I said, can we switch? And he says, no, this is the classroom given to me. So what I did was I brought my class to the dean's office. We sat down in front and I lectured there. And when the dean came, is this a sit-in? I said, no, I have no classroom. And so they gave me the nice air-conditioned classroom for the next semester, which made the other faculty hate me. But the thing here is that I learned from many, many things. And I learned how to tell stories from 20 years of teaching. In the Jesuit education that I went through, like many of us, it was heavy on the humanities, literature, history, philo, theology, all the subjects that the K-12 revisions have removed from our syllabus, from our core. That was the hallmark of a Jesuit education. Subjects that are derided as useless or irrelevant in the modern world. In such a state, these are the things that made us human. These are the subjects that many people think are not worth studying anymore. But what is important here is that the Ateneo, not only with its humanities core, but the Ateneo built a reputation from solid and reflective teaching. And now it runs the game of international rankings that privileges publication in refereed journals over mentoring. It pains me that in recent years I have been marginalized for the things I do best, teaching in a classroom and reaching a wider non-academic audience through the popularization of Philippine history. The very things that brought me here to speak to you this afternoon as an allegedly memorable Ateneo teacher. Look at all the 7 of us who will speak to you this afternoon, and you will see not just teachers who prepared students for the workforce or students for careers. You will see teachers who gave more than course content by changing lives and making them human. I think that all good Ateneo teachers go beyond content, which is easily forgotten. We are remembered for a word, a story, a gesture, a conversation that made an impact on their lives and choices. Good Ateneo teachers provide a moral compass, a conscience that advises students to always choose right from wrong, truth over falsehood. But we also tell our students that they have free will and that they are responsible for the options or choices that they make. At the end of each semester, I remind my students of their privileged education that has placed them on the upper 3 to 5% of the population. And while I know that many of them will be the upper 5% that will oppress the other 95% of their countrymen, I know that when they have attained the wealth, power, and prestige that the world sees as markers of success, they will sit up one night and reflect on their lives. And if at that point they are bothered by the choices they made, then we as Ateneo teachers have done our job. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you, Dr. Ocampo. To introduce our next speaker, we have a graduate of management honors from batch 1996. He is currently the chief economist at Moody's Analytics REIS in New York City. To introduce our next speaker, Dr. Victor Calang. Please focus your attention on the screens.
What kind of a teacher was Rudy Aram? I'm going to answer that question via 3 levels. One would be the rumors you encounter, the surface reality, and then what lies underneath. My first encounter with Rudy Ang was via a rumor that suggested he was an incredibly intimidating administrator. Here I was, an incoming sophomore in 1993, and I was late for the official shifting period. Somehow I needed to obtain his signature, and so I hustled myself up to his new office at the new Social Sciences building in the Ateneo de Manila University. This intimidating administrator had his back turned to me. He wheeled around, and the first thing he said was, "Pakitulungan mo ako dito. Please help me with this furniture." His office was in disarray, and he was really literally still moving his furniture around. So my first encounter with the supposedly intimidating administrator was surprisingly mundane. We sat down. I guess it put me at ease, but I was still very nervous when I said, "Mr. Ang, I know that the official shifting period is over, but I'd love the opportunity to shift into the Management Honors Program." He looked at my paperwork, and I'll never forget what he said. He said, "How I wish more applicants would come to me with the kind of profile that you have. Let's not allow constructs like dates and deadlines to stand in the way of a strong candidacy." So he signed off on my paperwork, and I was in. Here was an administrator who, at the surface level, was in charge of enforcing rules, and yet he was more concerned about really the spirit of said rules and making sure that the context mattered, that the person in front of him got a fair shake. I felt that he took a chance on me, that he had faith in me, and I worked the rest of my college life to make sure I kind of deserved that faith that he put in me. Second rumor, they said, "Wow, Mr. Ang is the kind of teacher who's so fierce that he's going to kick out 2/3 of all of you guys in his class." What was the reality? He was a brilliant teacher. No, he didn't just know his subject matter. He actually took significant effort to making sure that the message was crafted in ways that we, his students, would really understand. And so, it wasn't his job to lower his standards to make sure more of us passed. It was our job to, as the young ones say these days, level up and really meet his challenge and higher standard. And a lot of us were very inspired by that. When I graduated from college, he offered me a job to teach alongside him, and I jumped at the opportunity. And this is where I felt like I really scratched under the surface of what it meant to be an administrator and an educator in the Ateneo de Manila University. Again, the rumors flew. Are you sure you want to work for Rudy Ang? Have you seen him in meetings? He's not very nice sometimes. No? And I think what ended up happening was, what was the reality of being an educator in the Ateneo? There's a lot of budget fights, there's infighting, there's turf wars, all the headaches that come with any organization run by human beings. And Rudy Ang, through his example, showed me that leadership can be lonely. Leadership does not have to be a popularity contest. Sometimes you make unpopular decisions as long as you've done your homework and you believe it's right for the school. Since then, I moved on. I moved halfway around the world, but every year over the last 20 plus years, we've kept in touch. Our conversations remain the same. What are your students like these days? How can you make the school better? What's standing in the way? What's our strategy to making sure that the experience for students and faculty alike are better the next day? And so, at the end of the day, what kind of educator was Rudy Ang? Over and above the rumors you'll hear from friends and enemies alike, the reality is he's a brilliant teacher. His teaching ratings speak for itself. There are generations of students out there who remembers analogies of bowling used to convey concepts in statistics. But over and above that, I think Rudy Ang never took his role as teacher and administrator in the Ateneo de Manila University as simply just another job. Because the truth is, he had many other jobs. I don't know how many burgers and chickens he sold over the years. But the Ateneo was his life. It was his passion. Management education in the Ateneo is different and incalculably better because Rudy Ang was at the helm. And I, among thousands of others, are very fortunate and blessed to have been his students. Or, as Rudy Ang would say, his students. Bossing Rudy, I wish I could have been there today, but I'm just a text or a Viber message away. Again, I'm going to end this short spiel with another rumor about what you're currently up to these days. They say that these days you just travel the world and post on Instagram because you're a hashtag influencer. But I know the deeper truth, I think the deeper truth is that you're here with me all the time, no? There's a really important shining part of your life and excellence that will always live on in your students. And for that, I'm not ashamed to say that we love and appreciate you for all that you've tried to do for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker, Dean Rudy Ang.
Good afternoon. I feel a little intimidated. I know I'm supposed to be the one who's intimidating, pero I don't normally talk about things like this, so it's a little intimidating for me. My approach is very different from Quina and Ambeth. I have a presentation, and I'm not going to talk about my teaching. I'm going to talk about what I've been taught. And I thought I'd start with this, and I decided to entitle my presentation, that's supposed to be me, Lessons I Learned from My Mother. I grew up in a family of 10. I was number 9, 10 kids in my family. My father died when I was 6 years old. All 9 of my older siblings went to UST for college because that's what we could afford. So I thought, my expectation was that when I finished high school, I would be going to UST like my 8 other siblings. So imagine my great joy when I received a scholarship to come to the Ateneo, my dream school, but one I thought I wouldn't have a chance to be at. So I wanted to talk to you about lessons I learned from my mother, because these are the lessons I try to teach my students. And our mothers are our first teachers. Lesson number 1. Do your best at everything you do. Don't settle for less. I remember going home, grade 1. Came home, went to my mom and said, "Ma, second honor." And instead of telling me I deserve a siopaw, what my mother said was, "Bakit second honor lang? Hindi first honor." And like any other young student, what I told my mother was, "Si ate nga walang honor eh." And this is what my mother told me. "Your sister can barely pass. For her to pass is enough. That's all we can ask of her. You can do first honor. So don't settle for second." This is something that must have traumatized me, because at 57, I still remember what she told me when I was in grade 1. But it's a lesson well learned. It's a lesson I try to teach my students. Do your best at everything you do. Don't settle for less. It colors the way I do things. It colors my teaching, my administration. It colors the way I run business. Don't settle for less. So that was, I think, an important lesson I learned from my mother. The second lesson I learned from her, which I remember, is always, God is with us always. Because the story my mother always told us was, when your father died, and I was a relatively young widow with 10 children and no business. My mother, understandably, was a housewife because she had 10 kids to take care of. She said, everyone asked her, "Paano na kayo?" How will you survive with 10 kids? My youngest sister was 3. My eldest sister was 19. And we were all, spread out from 19 to 3. My mother obviously didn't work because she was always pregnant. Taking care of us. But she told us then, I told everyone, don't worry about us. God will take care of us. And that's the example she's always shared with us. Because today, all of us have finished schooling, all of us have successful professional careers. So in fact, when we look back on our lives together, God has taken care of us. Pero may kadugtong yung God is with us always. My mother always also said, but God helps those who help themselves. So at that point, she said, well, I could have given up. What would have happened to us if I had just given up? I couldn't give up because I had 10 children to take care of. My mother would not work, learned dressmaking, and took in dressmaking jobs from friends and neighbors to help take care of the family. So always, her example, God is with us always, but God helps those who help themselves. Next lesson I learned from her. Your good name is your single most important asset. I always share this with our students sa orientation. I'm in the Graduate School of Business now, so when we do our orientation for the Graduate School of Business, I always talk to them about the lessons I learned from my mother, because I feel these are lessons that will stand them in good stead, not just in their graduate school lives. It has stood me in good stead also in life. Your good name is your single most important asset. She often told us, after my father died, she often told us, your father left us nothing except his good name. And indeed, so many of his friends helped us out when we needed help because they said, we remember the good works of your father. We remember what he did for us when we needed his help. We are happy to help his wife and kids now when he needs the help. I'll give you another example, a very personal example. I've said I was a scholar. I was a scholar in Xavier School. I was a scholar here in college. But when B-Boy was talking about selling burgers and Chicken Joy, it's because, no, I'm not crying. I just have a cold. When he referred to Chicken Joy and burgers, it's because some of you know that the other thing I do aside from teaching is we have fast food franchises. So we run a chain of fast food franchises from the Jollibee group. Some people have asked me, if you were a scholar and you decided to be a teacher, how did you get to open a Jollibee? That's a lot of money, right? And it's an example I often share because it brings all these lessons I learned from my mother together. Because when I finished college, when I went to graduate school, also on scholarship, so I was able to get a scholarship to study in Boston College for my MBA. When I came back, my friends asked me, what are you going to do now? I said, now you have an MBA, you lived and worked in the US, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to go back teaching. And I said, kawawa ka naman. You will always be poor. Unknown to me, one of my friends, one of my study group barkada in college, unknown to me, her family owned Jollibee. Of course, in the 80s, Jollibee was not the big corporation it is today. It was successful but relatively small. And she told me, Rudy, kawawa ka naman. I want to help you. I want to give you the opportunity to open a Jollibee store. And I said, oh, thank you. Thank you, ex-friend. But I don't have the money to open the store, even if you give me the opportunity. And this is what she said. A lot of our classmates are asking me for Jollibee stores. I'm not going to give them a store. I'm going to give it to you because you deserve it more. Go tell them that you have the chance to open a Jollibee store. So I talked to my friends, high school and college friends, many of whom had money from family businesses that their parents had, but not the business opportunity to start something out on their own. So I went to them and no problem raising the money to open a Jollibee store. At the time, the total investment was 7 million. That was a lot of money in 1991 when we opened our first store. No problem raising that money. Why did I not have any problem opening the store? I think when I look back on those years, I think of how they know me or what they knew of me. Si Rudy, hindi nagchichiting yan. Si Rudy, masipag yan. Si Rudy, matulungin yan. The most dreaded class in college for us was accounting. I think it may still be accounting for business majors. For some odd reason, I was very good in accounting. Nagsa-study group kami every time there's an exam. We did study group, and I did study group not because I needed a study group. They needed a study group. So I was tutoring my classmates in accounting. And then later on, I realized, when I joined study group, I think I'm doing it for them, but I'm doing it for me too. Because for me to tutor them means I need to understand the concepts more deeply. I was better because I had to tutor my classmates. But they remembered that. They remembered matulungin si Rudy, masipag si Rudy, hindi siya nagchichiting, and said, perhaps, that's the kind of person we'd entrust our money to. I'm probably not the guy you will ask to go out for drinks. I'm not a bundle of fun. But sometimes a guy, my classmates are here, and minsan naman you invite me for a drink. But sometimes the guys who are fun to go out drinking with, the ones who are always talking about the foolishness that they do, the ones who are talking about the shortcuts that they take, maybe those are not the guys you want to put your money with. So I have, over the last 20-some years, never had trouble raising equity for business ventures that we go into, just among our friends. And I'd like to think it's because of what they know of me and the kind of person they know me to be. And so it's a gift that my mother gave me that she kept emphasizing to us. Your good name is your single most important asset. Take care of it. Live your life in such a way as to let others find you worthy of trust. I have another example. I don't have much time left, so I'll go very quickly over this. These are students of ours at the Graduate School of Business. Okay, 6 of them, they set up a company called Six Eagles Nest Food Incorporated. I know it's missing an apostrophe there somewhere. I've told them that they're missing an apostrophe. But anyway, they called it Six Eagles Nest because they all met each other in Ateneo in graduate school doing their MBA. They're all working for multinational corporations at that time. But one of them, the bald guy in the middle, their family had a formulation for empanada, which he serves to his friends when they have a study group. And so he said, "Paray, masarap yung empanada na to ah. Gawin nating negosyo." So they opened little food kiosks selling empanada, not very successful. Okay. So they interviewed their faculty, and some of us, I was involved a little in terms of saying, take your empanada, buy 5 other types of empanada. Have people taste the 6 empanada, including yours, without telling them which one is yours. And ask them which one they like best. If no one chooses your empanada, then your business has no future. But not everyone has to choose your empanada, but if enough people choose your empanada, then the next step is to say, what did they like about this and what did they not like? What did they like about the other empanadas and what did they like? And see how you can improve your empanada. So they kept bothering their teachers and feeding their teachers empanada and asking them, Sir, masarap ba? Ma'am, masarap ba? And one of their teachers, their marketing teacher, said, guys, this is pretty good empanada. I know the purchasing manager of Ministop. Let me introduce you to the purchasing manager of Ministop. And the rest is history. They are today the exclusive supplier of empanada to Ministop. So if you walk into any Ministop and order an empanada, it's theirs. So from a little backyard operation making a few hundred empanada a day, they're preparing tens of thousands of empanada now every day in a commissary that has been expanding every year, the last few years, right? Selling empanada. They got to know each other in school. They said, the guys who had this brainchild said, we're not good in accounting. We have to find someone good in accounting, right? So that's why one of the girls got into the group. Someone who was teaching them accounting in their accounting class said, would you like to be in business with us? Okay. They've been featured a lot. They've been featured in ABS-CBN. So ABS-CBN is kind of weird nga kasi they need to attend Doreen Fernandez's class. Business in Empanada formed by school children. School children though. Anyway, their success is another example for me of living your life in such a way as to protect your good name so that other people may want to do things with you. When my mother was 90 years old, actually no, she wasn't 90. We celebrated her 90th. Chinese have a weird way of counting birthdays, right? When she was 88, we celebrated her 90th birthday. How's that? When we celebrated her 90th birthday, we asked her, we prepared a video, and one of the questions asked of her was, what's your birthday wish? And she said, I'm 90, I've done everything I want to do, my children are all grown up and successful. My only wish is that they love each other and help each other. Magmahalan at magtulungan tayo. And this is what has stood us in good stead. 10 kami. At the same time, it means a lot of expense, but at the same time, it means that when the burden is heavy, when divided by 10, the burden becomes light. And I think this is a metaphor for students in school. It's a metaphor for life. It's a metaphor for the Philippines. Magmahalan na magtulungan tayo. A lesson I learned from the Jesuits, which my mother didn't explicitly teach me. The gifts we have been given were not intended for our benefit alone. They were meant to be shared with others. So this is something, yung greater purpose is something I learned from the Jesuit educators I've had. Why did I get a scholarship? Why did I get to go to great high school, a great college, a great graduate school? We couldn't afford it. Why were these opportunities given to me? I think because there's a greater purpose for us. And I feel very much when people who used to copy from me in school are making 10 times more money than myself, I ask myself sometimes, did I choose the wrong career? But then after reflection, I realize this is, I think, what God meant for me to do with the gifts He has given me and the opportunities He has given me. So I'm just totally happy to be in the Ateneo today. It's merely incidental that I ended up as a business teacher. I started college as a comm major. My first job was as a high school English teacher. And I could have ended up teaching in a totally different field. But The lessons we teach our students aren't field specific. The most important lessons we teach our students are lessons we can teach no matter what subject we teach. Long after my students have forgotten how to draw a confidence interval or to create a discounted cash flow, I hope they will remember these life lessons, lessons that are best taught when modeled through lived example. There will always be shiny new things to learn and teach. Data science, design thinking, sustainability are the buzzwords today, but they're not likely to be the buzzwords tomorrow. These immutable truths are the life lessons that will stand the test of time. And if my students take nothing else away from my classes, I hope they will take with them these life lessons that have served me well in my own lifetime. There are two types of trips that we might take. One is our daily commute home. It doesn't matter who's with us. We need to take the trip, and we just want to get where we are going. The trip itself is not important. Another type of trip is a holiday. That's the kind of trip that you wish would not end. It's a kind of trip where it matters what you do and who you do with it, who you do it with on that trip. That's the kind of trip you wish would never end. A more contemporary example for our students here: if you had to drive home today and all you want to do is get home, that's the first kind of trip. Buisit na traffic to, I just want to get home. But if your crush asks to hitch a ride with you home, then if she's in the car or he's in the car with you on your way home, I'm sure you're saying, traffic pa more. I wish this trip would not end. That's the second kind of trip. The kind of trip our lives will be depends entirely on us. I know that my decision to be a teacher has ensured that my trip is the second type, because the last 36 years of teaching the Ateneo have been like, well, for me, perhaps not for my students, but for me has been like one big holiday. I've always taken great pride in being an Atenean. At the sunset of my career, as I contemplate retirement, which isn't so far away, I can only hope that I have lived my life in such a way as to make the Ateneo proud of me. I have one last slide. That's me and my mother. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dean Rudy. At this point, we'd like to invite our speakers back on stage. Of course, Dean Rudy Ang, Dr. Queen Alichua, and Dr. Ocampo. And we'd also like to invite Father Johnny Go and Dr. Marlo Vilches just to give some small tokens of appreciation for spending some time with us this afternoon. Please join me in giving them a round of applause again. Thank you very much once again to our dear speakers. For the last few years, the university has had a series of conversations among our various stakeholders to discuss what it means to be an Atenean and what it means to be an Ateneo de Manila educator. We've seen exemplars of that in this afternoon's gathering of educators, so we thought it would be a good idea to articulate these in defining attributes. You may have received bookmarkers specially designed for this occasion that begins to list these attributes down. That's what our ideal profile of an educator might look like. We also thought it would be a great way to bring together like-minded educators in the country in a movement we are calling TRIBE, which stands for Teachers Redefining and Innovating for Better Education. We hope all the educators in the room can join our tribe. So that wraps up our first set of speakers. Thank you very much for coming. And to all our teachers, happy World Teachers Day. To allow for the second batch of Talab participants to settle down, we will have a 10-minute break before proceeding for our second batch. Thank you very much and have a good afternoon.
Paulit-ulit kang nagplano. Paulit-ulit ngunit lagi din naman nababago.
Hey, naka-break yata. Siguro nagugutom yung mga teachers doon. Di ba pag ganun, pagtanda na?
Kailangan ng break.
May break. Okay,
break tsaka wiwi break, di ba?
Habang tayo mag-joy to the world. O, ayan na. O, lapang na. Kain na.
Take out na lang ako.
Okay. Sige na, Justin, go. So, we're talking to our teachers and talking about our teachers. Tribute natin to sa kanila. Let's talk about our memorable teachers. Go, Lester, ikaw. Anong ginawa sa'yo ng teacher mo na memorable? Sino?
Well, I remember, I have a particular theology professor.
Okay.
In UST.
Okay.
Her name is Miss Verdeflor.
Oh. So
what she does is, hindi ko alam paano niya na-discover na kaya kong, na marunong ako kumanta.
Aha.
Pero, so every time we start,
pinapakanta ka.
Kumakanta ako ng, God of Formation, sa theme song of UST hymn. Tapos ganito pa, pinapatay yung mga ilaw sa classroom. Tapos,
ganon kagaling, ha? May mood! May mood! May set up talaga.
Nung mga panahon na yun, nagdadala na ng sound system yung mga professor. Para hindi sila, so naka-microphone ako.
Pero ito kasi, yung tipo, ayoko, hindi ako ready. Ito -1. Gano'n na, di ba?
Hindi ka masyadong
So, ang galing.
So, ako taga-check na mga
Pero yun, parang, we remember our
taga-check na mga test
teachers.
papers.
Tama yun, we remember the teachers who like bring out the best. Yung tipong hindi ka believe sa sarili mo, pero sila yung, Sige, kaya mo yan, anak. Kaya mo yan. Yun. Okay, sa ikaw naman, sino?
Sa akin,
College lang para maka-identify sila. Sino yan?
prod class
Sino?
Kay Mr. Roy Iglesias.
Ang gabait naman kasi niya eh.
Pero hindi, pagka TV prod, oh my God,
bakit?
nangangatog kaming lahat.
Dahil?
Kasi nasa labas pa lang siya, galit na siya. Wala ko siya sa loob ng studio. Tapos dun, kuyari, kasi syempre pag TV prod, hindi na rin naman kami yung talent. Kumukuha rin kami ng mga talent, di ba? Kasi production
so nakikita
nga, diba?
nila.
Oo. Eto na, syempre may mga may mga dancers ko, no? Ganyan, background dancers. Sabi talaga niya, saan nyo kinuha yung mga dancers na yan? Ang papangit.
Wala nang bayad yun. Tas ganun.
Pero syempre kami lang nakakarinig. Pero in fairness naman kasi sa amin, parang, kaya kami talent scout. Diba? Pero ang pinaka talaga inaniya sa akin, kaya ako pinagigihan ko talaga yung prod ko noon. Ang likod kasi ng kamay ko noon.
Ay, lagot.
FD ako.
Okay. Saan na kaya napunta tong kamay na iba na tuloy? Okay.
So, nakahagip yung kamay ko ng camera.
So
kuha ko lahat ng cues pero hindi ako sensitive sa camera. Kaya sinabi niya sa akin, you're a bad FD.
Kasi nakikita sa camera. Pero ngayon kahit bituka nga ng set, di ba pinapakita na? Parang ngayon okay na yun.
O di ba yung level yata yung sa akin? Parang yung camera, gaya yung camera. Ang papansin lang.
Pero hindi ba sa ASAP when you see the camera work, habang mas gritty or mas magulo? Okay,
actually, pag nandun ka naman na ata ngayon sa industriya,
diba mas
wala naman masyadong rules na nagagana.
Sa IG, di ba yung mga postings?
Ngayon parang mas raw, mas okay eh.
Mas okay ganyan. Pero I guess,
pero kasi before,
ayaw nila yung polish.
Hindi.
Yeah.
Kailangan polish.
Yun hashtag authentic. Yun nga yun.
Mas raw, mas real, ganyan.
Ako, kailangan ko tapatan. Kung ano yan.
Ayan. Oh my God, talaga pagka kay Sir Roy. Pero love ko si Sir Roy dahil sa mga ganun niya.
He's on in Channel 7.
Yes.
No, he's part of the Film Fest Committee. Kasama siya sa mag-evaluate ng 4 films na for the film. I work with him and he's such a good man. Kasama yan ni Lauren Legarda from the first Inside Story and Pep Talk.
Pero wait, pahabol kay Sir Roy, pagdating naman dun sa PR class namin, nagla-love advice na siya. So I
At saka hindi yung boses niya pwede siya mag-modulate.
It's true.
Well, anyway, kung I remember it na, Dong Puna was our teacher and he's so sharp. Yung tipong, di ba nung viewpoint and all. Pero ngayon, malulungkot kayo yung teacher mo, meron ng...
Okay.
Parang gano'n na tipong once he was, sabi ko, sana hindi na lang siya nagpolitika. Kasi parang, okay siya eh. Magaling siya eh. Yun, mahal na mahal namin. One of the few times na he was busy with media, pero yun, nandun. Ang gusto lang natin yung practitioner na pupunta dito, hindi magpapabayad. Marilu Diaz-Abaya was like that. Carlita Sigan Reyna. Because we need those experts like teach. Ngayon, ito, kung medyo kasalbayan, hindi naman siguro, napatawad naman siguro niya. Kasi Sol Reyes, alam mo, di ba? Ng Filipino Department. Kasi wala naman si Ma'am Sol, di ba? Well, iba, mataray lang yung pero malambot naman sa loob. Pero sabihin, anong quiz?
Okay.
Anong kulay ng buhok ni Balagtas? Sige. Sige. Sumagot ako sa class, bida-bida. Sabi ko, pati ba naman yung tinatanong pa? Kasi na-ranted lang. Pati ba naman yung tinatanong pa? Tapos sabi nga, syempre hindi nyo na naman alam. So bago pa man kami makasagot sa graded recitation, syempre hindi nyo na naman alam. Tapos tahimik yung class. Tapos sabi, biglang sabi, ba't di kayo sumasagot? Ma'am, natatakot yung mga tao sa'yo. Sinabi ko talaga, but class, nakakatakot ba ako? Sabi ni Sol.
Okay.
So, kala namin, lumambot na yung puso. But I can't be a mother to you. Because I'm not. Gumanon man, binalik niyang gano'n. Parang, naku, galit nga yata talaga. Then after nun, oo nga, some people, hindi nga gano'n ka-motherly. Pero yun nga, tough love.
Tough love. So ano nga yung sagot?
Ginto, mais.
Yung hinihintay ko, ano yung sagot?
Yung ginto, kulay ng buhok ni Balagtas. So, yun ngayon, alam nyo na. Pero ako, bakit? Bakit mahalaga?
Alam ko lang, meron siya rito, di ba?
Sabi ko nga sana green. Kasama ba yun sa
Yes. So, other teachers. Doc Cornedo was my teacher. He was the first one to give me an A. Sa UST siya galing. Di ba, ang lalim-lalim ng boses? Yung siya yung nagturo sa akin ng pagmamahal at pagmumura. yun daw yung ano doon, kung mahal ka ng isang tao, totoo yan ha, kahit regalo. Yung pinakamahal mong regalo, pwedeng monetary, pwedeng siguro yung pinaka of value, binibigay mo sa taong pinakamahal mo. Tapos yung pagmumura, well, siguro yung extreme nun, yung pag minumura mo, or yung pagtingin mo sa tao, yun yung halagang napupunta doon. So yun, siya yung nagsabi nun. Other things na nagsistay sa'yo. Ano
sa akin naman, hindi ko siya teacher pero ano siya, nakasalubong ko lang siya.
May ganun may ganun effect. Mr. Pagsy sa akin, never ko siya naging teacher pero parang pag nakita ko rin sa Diyos.
Pero alam ko na, basta sa psych, ano siya. And then parang, ang nasabi lang, kalimutan ko na yung pangalan.
Okay.
Basta yun siya. And then parang sinabi lang niya sa akin na parang pakinggan mo yung mga bagay na makakabuti at makakatulong sa'yo. Kapag ka hindi, pasok, labas. Yun ang sinabi
Ay, ganda
niya sa
naman.
akin.
Pero ang tanong ko sa'yo, anong mas mahalaga? Yung pumapasok o yung lumalabas?
Mas mahalaga.
Sagutin mo yan.
Mas mahalaga siguro yung nananatili.
Ay,
diba? Nakamugin ko yung sa kanina nila. Diba?
Panalo na si Bian. Panalo na.
More joy for me.
Other lessons na meaning. Actually, yun nga, hindi mananatili sa'yo yung pwede mo mabasa sa libro na tinuturo nila, di ba? It's really more their wisdom na hindi mo makikita talaga sa libro. Although some people reading this, brilliance talaga yung mabibigay sa'yo. The knowledge you can like read up but the orientation, yung skill pwede mong ma-learn, but the values iba eh. Other teachers who stuck with you.
One of my philo professors in college, super higpit siya eh. So kami parang takot-takot, konti na lang yung mga tao para nagpaplano na mag-drop. Kasi meron siyang parang nababalitaan ng mga tao na nagbabagsak siya ng kalahati ng klase. Parang gano'n.
Walang curve.
Walang curve. Walang bell curve na nagaganap.
Ganun yung ginagawa, di ba? Para mas maraming nakapasa, yung nandulo lang yung mababagsak, di ba?
Tapos ano siya, ang style niya,
my God.
Kapag may klase, isang tao lang yung tinatanong niya.
Dahil?
Ganun yung style niya. Ikaw lang yung parang everyone just parang listens to the discussion. But this is one person.
But why was he significant?
Nakakatakot siya. At saka napasa ko siya eh.
Parang
I remember he caught me teaching someone.
Okay. Okay naman.
So yung katabi ko parang siya yung person of the day.
Lagot.
Tapos sinuruan ko siya, tinawag niya ako, Menjola!
Ganda. Talagang palaban.
If I see you doing that again, I will give you a question that even God cannot answer.
Oh my God. Ano kayo
so parang I was trembling in fear.
Ang tanong lang pala, bakit?
Kasi baka bumagsak ako.
Oo nga.
Bumasa ako. Tapos parang 1/4 sa amin, bagsak.
Si Eddie Boy, ganyan. Malapit sa'yo si Eddie Boy. Kaya lang yun nga, a lot of people, kala nila, yun nga, balik tayo dun sa, ang daling magbagsak, hindi talaga. Ano naranasan mo yun?
Oo, yung mga tipong kahit anong gawin ko, hindi ko kaya talagang magicin yung grade.
Kailan ka nang babagsak? Yun kailan deserving magbagsak?
Nagbibigay ka ba ng special projects?
Oo.
Nagme-make ako. Totoo eh.
Nagbibigay ako, pero kasi
pero meron pa rin yung hindi pa rin nagsasubmit, di ba?
Yung isa, kaya siya actually bumagsak sa class ko kasi talagang
hindi pumapasok.
Yun naman. Wala talaga akong choice no.
Or hindi siya nagsasubmit ng requirement.
FA na yun eh.
Oo, FA na eh. Hindi talaga pumapasok at all, ganyan. So sige, nag-repeat siya sa akin. Okay, pumapasok, hindi naman nagbibigay ng requirements.
That's it. Yun lang.
So kinausap ko na siya. Sabi ko, gusto mo ba talaga itong ipasa o baka gusto mo mag-shift na lang? Kasi kahit na pala ipasa ko siya dito, yung quota sa course mismo, hindi rin siya aabot. So I had to ask her. Ganyan. Pero ang sabi niya sa akin, gusto naman niya ituloy yung class ko.
That's true.
Sige, pero hindi naman kasi siya nagbibigay ng requirements. Anong i-grade ko?
Nagiging parang yun nga, nagiging best friend ka pa ng mga bumagsak. Di ba? Ganun yung
Anong gagawin natin? I want it. Parang help me, help you. Ganun yung niya. Pero kasi parang, anong gagawin natin? Anong i-grade ko sa'yo? Di ba? Kung paano ka manamit? Ganyan. Di ba? Anong i-grade ko sa'yo? Yun lang yung kaya kong di diba, i-judge ko na lang daw siya, diba? Ganun. Ayun.
So what other learning, parang yung classroom learning is okay, but did you have any other activities outside the classroom na nakasama mo pa rin yung class? Yung di ba ganon?
Kasama pa rin.
Yung kunyari, hindi kasi in the field trip pag high school. May ganon ba? Yung immersion, the immersion.
Yes.
Yun. Ako yun. Na-enjoy ko rin yan.
Nag-immersion kami, kasama namin ng mga mangingisda, fisher folk. Isang linggo kami nandoon.
Na, di ba?
Oo, tapos napasaya kasi Laguna yun. Nakuha ko yung punto nila.
And for us, it's the best teacher actually. Yung immersion. Why? Because it doesn't like only give you the skills, but yun, the orientation nga na tipong challenge yung lifestyle mo, di ba? Parang, uy, ganun, kaya nilang mabuhay. Paano ikaw?
That's true. Tsaka yung kaya mo mag-adapt.
Yeah, that's
parang
true.
itapon ka dito, adapt ka dyan, tapon ka dito. Ikaw yung mag-a-adjust sa environment mo para makasurvive ka. Tama, mali.
Pero yun na nga parang, and you have this feeling na pagtapos ng immersion, parang, uy, nagamit ko lang ba sila? Kasi para akong sumama sa kanila for a while or tutuloy ko yung connection. Why are you still in touch with the people you had area work with? Kasi yun, kilala mo pa rin ba? Sila dinadalaw niya pa rin. Ako rin eh.
Oo, yung kaya.
Yung Barya Silangan, Barangay Silangan dun sa yun. Kay Father Habeliana. Yun dun nabuo yung entablado. Yung, at that time, we didn't have Rizal Mini Theater. It was the streets. It was a community where we were performing. Parang ako yun, parang kung ano yung issue nila doon, dinadramatize. Yun, ganun yung apostolate.
And I think hindi lang naman yung mismo experience talaga. It's really more yung skill na natutunan mo doon na pwede mong ma-apply sa iba.
That's true.
Parang ganun siya.
Okay, mga teachers sa pumanaw na. Sige, ito tribute. Pero sandali lang, si Ernie, kanina pa siya nagpa-shoutout. Happy birthday ba to? Hello, Ernie. Shoutout kay Ernie. Wala pa yung seminar. Kasi yung next batch yan, Tati Likwanan, ako idol ko yan, siya yung nasa DepEd dati. Na Ched, yun na. Siya yung academic vice president namin nung nagtuturo ako dito. At kinampihan niya kami talaga on very, very relevant issues when she was here sa Ateneo. She also was the president of Miriam when she left Ateneo. Well, anyway, tributes to teachers na nawala na, pumanaw na.
Well, I had college parang wala pa sa mga kaklose ko na mga professor. They're still alive. Probably except for my chemistry professor na matanda na siya nung college
nung panahon pa.
High school meron
na. Ano yun? Ang reunion nyo patay na. Parang normally you go through that. Ang reunion nyo binyag muna, kakasal or
nakakalungkot kapag nakikita-kita sa mga ganung.
Totoo yan. Kami ni Father Nick Cruz, because everyone goes through him, and then pag-com ka, di ba parang, and then we honored him in a reunion ng adopted com major kasi ako sa philo ko. So yun, nandun. Then after that, namatay na siya. Parang hinintay lang siguro yung moment ng pagpapahalaga. Yun siguro. Ikaw, meron na.
Wala akong maisip kasi lahat pa sila buhay.
Buti naman.
Oo. Okay. Pero ayokong isipin.
Pero ito yung sabi mo kay Mr. Pagsy, yung sabi niya sa'yo, hanggang kailan yung retirement? Kasi ngayon pinababaan na yung retirement age, di ba 56 na nga. Pero si Mr. Pagsy is 92 years old and he's still teaching. Siguro special consideration kasi hindi yun sa rule, no? Sa Ateneo na lang siguro yan. But what did he tell you again?
Sinabi niya na parang I am teaching because I am still alive.
Totoo naman, no? Nakaka-touch.
Yun talaga yung pagtuturo niya hindi lang talaga sa classroom.
Oh, well, yan. Yun naman yung gusto natin.
Hindi lang sa entablado.
The teachers who walk their talk, yung Bobby Guevara, of course. Yung tipong, yung sinasabuhay nila yung sinasabi. Benji Tolosa for Economics. Who else? Let's rattle off with teachers na we had. Manny D for me. No, ako, hindi siya yung ma-show. Yung pag di ba si Manny, Diyos ko, Manny D. Yung maglalagay pa siya yung buhok niya dito, igaganon pa niya, ilalagay sa kabila kahit na Mans, okay na yun, no? Sign of wisdom yan. Pero slow to talk, but he was one who taught us and lived phenomenology. Yung pagbabracket ng biases on people. Ayun. Sino pa sa'yo? Go. People who touched you.
Ng mga teacher.
Ako siguro yung
ng mga
guidance counselor during college.
Anong ginawa
hindi naman ako palagi napapadala sa guidance office.
Pero hindi, sila rin yung nag-open ng possibility sa'yo even after college.
Yes,
di ba? Sila yung... Actually, kung tutuusin, napaka-alaga tayo sa universities natin. Kasi alam ko yung ibang universities, after nila mag-graduate, kanya-kanyang hanap ng trabaho. But our guidance counselors and even the placement office, they make sure na okay, may pupuntahan ka after graduation. What else? Sino pa?
Hindi, siguro yung sa akin, walang halong BS or whatever. Nag-work na ako. Si Father Ari, kasi yung una kong boss. Father Ari D. As in, sobrang basta karoon ako ng work bubu, ganyan. Tapos na sinabi lang niya talaga sa akin.
Ka-dinner ko kahapon, yung or pinsan niya si Judy D.
Okay.
Yun. They're from a really well-to-do family, but parang they're living very simple lives. Totoo, yun nga. So,
yes. So, ang nasabi lang niya sa akin na parang don't feel bad. It's really part of what you're doing. But the important thing is you learn.
He's president of Savior here or Savior in Novali?
Here.
At a certain time, or Savior Whole?
Hindi ako sure.
Hindi ko kasi,
alam ko here.
Kasi Savior
natawa ako yung
diba, here.
si June Miray, nakakita ko June Miray Primitivo. Si Father June was our classmate. Ayun. Sila na yung ngayon. Sila na yung mga boss at yan provincial. Yan si Nono, ayan.
Si Father Nono din, ang naniwala sa akin. Naniwala sa akin. Kung ano pinagawa sa akin ni Father Nono.
Ginawa?
Kasi, hindi, pinagawa niya parang, kasi yan, hi Father Nono. As in, bigla lang yun talaga akong pinasulat sa radio drama, or pasakali. Tapos mamaya binigay na niya sa akin yung slot na parang, okay, alternate tayo, ganyan.
He was with Watanglawin when he was a student. And then, when, nandiyan na. Pero nung yun nga, I was doing the morning show, I was the executive producer of yung Umagang Kay, parang MUP, Magandang Umaga Pilipinas. We would collab already that early. Na pinapapunta ko dito sina Bianca Gonzalez, sina Ryan Agoncillo, sina Julius Babaw, TJ Manotok, and Bernadette Zambrano to tape yung Kapet Pandasal. And now they're coming up with the 15th anniversary book.
Yes.
Kasama. And kinilabutan kami nung si Ernest pinapanood sa amin. The issues of before are still the same issues we're carrying now. Yung tipong manindigan, yung tipong yung fake news, yung maniniwala sa katotohanan. And those were the Jesuits' words like 15 years ago.
Until now.
So siguro yun, kaya sila classic na mga Jesuita rin at sa mga teachers. Yun, naalala natin sila dahil sa mga tinuro nila. Ngayon, tignan natin kung ano na nangyayari dun sa forum. I think the second batch has, yun nga, Tati Likwanan, si Eddie Boy Calasans, and Bobby Guevara. So yun, these are teachers na feature dito sa second part ng talk.
This influence requires the teacher to forge strong relationships with her students. By doing so, she is able to affect every aspect of their students' lives, teaching them valuable life lessons that will help them succeed beyond accomplishment of course requirements and achievement of a degree. Tati connected with me on multiple levels, for she was more than the usual teacher to me. She eventually became my research boss, thesis advisor, dissertation panelist, mother of the children.
Sir Lester. Kasi may lakad siya, may date, kasama na rin si B.
Ako yung kanina.
Napaka-wholesome naman ng date.
Dapat kasi, joke lang, magkakala pa kami.
So yun, si Tati Licuana na yung next speaker. Maraming salamat dahil yun nga, para at least we're able to like talk about our teachers at pahalagahan sila. Sa tingin ko, hindi nga, yung profession ng teaching, hindi nga yun yung pera na yung hinihingi, di ba? Kasi yun, alam mo rin naman at naging, ganun din naman tayo sa ibang tao. It's really more yun the fulfillment that you're able to change people's lives. Just let her go, ikaw. Thank you to your teachers and shaping them to what you have become now. O yun naman.
Siguro, thank you for teaching not just about subject matter, but also about lessons about life.
Ganda naman.
Also by being, kasi parang...
Are you in touch with some of them still?
Yes. Yes. So, parang many of them are very good examples of how they live their life for service.
That's true. That's true. Ikaw, go.
Sa akin, thank you for giving us your lives.
Totoo yun?
Kunyari ako na nagturo na ako, tapos naging co-teacher ko na yung mga teachers ko noon.
Totoo rin naman yan.
Ang trabaho ng teacher, hanggang bahay bit-bit. Hanggang hindi, alam mo yun?
Guilty ako dyan. Kaya sabi ko, magra-radyo na lang ako dito sa may apostle. Ayoko mag-check ng papel.
Diba? Hindi siya natatapos. So, yung buhay talaga. As in, yung oras.
Naman. Totoo. Well, it's really one selfless profession. Yun talaga yun.
Yes.
You actually...
It's advocacy na rin, diba?
You lose something. You so generously share that to other people. And then siguro yung tumatama sa'yo, like any angel, na yung naiiba. Yung tipong always. And yun, indelible yung effect nila sa'yo. Nandyan palagi. So maraming salamat. Kung sino man tayo ngayon, effect yan ng mga nagturo sa atin, nag-mentor sa atin. At sana meron din tayo natulungan.
Oo.
At maalala rin tayo. Yun yung mga tao. Sabi nga ni Mr. Pagsy, yun, babalik ako kasi sa kanya talagang stark experience ko today. Yung 92 years old, yun nga, mamamatay bilang guro. But in the end, parang nagsosow ng seeds. Hindi mo alam kung saang lupa sila, tataba ba sila or gano'n. But in the end, meron silang sariling buhay. So yun. Maraming salamat. We'll actually bring you back to the forum. At yan yung mga teachers at Tati Licuanan, Bobby Guevara, and Eddie Boy Calasats. Maraming salamat. See you next.
Bye-bye.
Three C's stood out about Tati as a teacher: connection, confidence, and concern. In the Ateneo way, we refer to connection as men and women for others, confidence as magis, and concern for the student as cura personalis. For this privilege of introducing a great teacher, thank you, Tati. I can never pay you back, but I can certainly pay forward as a fellow teacher who now develops deep connection with her students, inspires confidence in them, and shows authentic concern for their welfare. Maraming salamat, Tati. Let us all welcome Dr. Patricia B. Licuanan.
Thank you, Marisa. Good afternoon. My approach today, there it is, is to tell my Ateneo story. My Ateneo story begins with the time I just graduated from college. Filled with youthful zeal and idealism to serve God and country, I volunteered to teach in a mission school run by the Marinol Sisters and Fathers in a small rural town in Mindanao. This This was years before the Jesuit volunteer program or any other such programs. As I was about to leave for my mission of service, Father Jaime Bulatao of the Society of Jesus, who had already introduced me to the exciting world of psychology, talked to me about the work ahead and the possibilities for the future. My decision to work in a mission school in Mindanao was admirable, he said, and I had his full support. But the service I would be giving would benefit mainly the people in that small town and would, in a sense, be similar to retail. If, on the other hand, he continued, I went on for a PhD and then taught and worked at the Ateneo, you must understand, he was, of course, slightly biased, my work would benefit more people and have greater and more wholesale impact. After a happy and fulfilled year doing school and pastoral work in Mindanao, I went for graduate studies abroad and then on to the Ateneo. And as they say, the rest is history. I came to the Ateneo in 1970. It went back. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I got it. Don't worry. I came to the Ateneo in 1970. This was the time of bell bottoms and miniskirts. The 70s were also turbulent times, a period of protest and questioning. I was appointed to the discipline committee, and we would spend long hours into the night and the wee hours of morning deciding the cases of our activists of Dekada 70. Those discussions were bizarre because of the mix of ideological rhetoric, feudalismo, fascismo, imperialismo, and the mundane administrative rules such as those on how many cuts you were allowed, etc. Truly a mix of the profound and the absurd. That was also the time when discussions on the Ateneo were central. Down from the hill and all. The relevance and value and even the very existence of the Ateneo was seriously questioned. But I can sincerely say that through all those years of doubt and protest, I kept the faith, believing with all my heart that the Ateneo was a great Philippine institution with an important role to play in the life of the nation. I still remember an Ateneo, an all-male Ateneo. It was a small school with a relatively homogeneous student body. There were a lot more Jesuits, and it was dominated by theology, philosophy, and the humanities. I have seen the Ateneo grow and change over the years. The development of the campus with new buildings and facilities, new course offerings. Why does it say check signal cable? Oh, not there. Oh, it's just the monitor that says that. Now you can tell what generation I belong to. So new course offerings, particularly in the natural and social sciences, an expanded graduate school, higher visibility of the Ateneo among various sectors in the community through the involvement of individual faculty and through the creation of new university centers and offices, growing international partnerships, the changing profile of students to include a wider range of socioeconomic backgrounds, a broader discussion of social issues, the development of Filipino, where in teaching and the ability of our students and our faculty to use English and Filipino equally well, changing career patterns of our graduates as more go into development work as well as entrepreneurial endeavors. But for me, the most significant change was coeducation. Getting all those bright young women into the Ateneo, and what a difference it has made. What makes the Ateneo special? The Ateneo combines the best of two worlds. It has the broad intellectual and social perspective of a large national university and the personal and caring atmosphere and spirit of a small college. The unique blending of excellence, social concern, and student orientation, expressed in its creeds of sapientia et eloquentia, men and women for others, and cura personalis, and manifested in the institution as a whole, in the people who work here, and in its graduates. The focus on students and the importance of teaching and mentoring has also always been an Ateneo trademark. In fact, that used to be a criticism hurled at the Ateneo, that we were too focused on teaching and did not put enough of a premium on research. Ateneo is now, I think, quite respectable in the research area, but remains very committed to formation of students. I remember some friends, a husband and wife, both distinguished UP professors, who sent their children to the Ateneo. When I asked them why, they said that while there were recognized scholars and first-rate teachers at the UP, the chances of their children getting good teachers were much greater at the Ateneo because we put such an importance on the classroom and on teaching. Is that true, Ambet, Marisa? And the Ateneo makes an impact on the life of the nation. Ateneo forms leaders in all sectors and has been doing so for generations. An impact of the Ateneo that may not receive as much attention and recognition is its role in mediating and building bridges between sectors in society. Through its social orientation, Ateneo is uniquely situated to mediate between the poor and powerless and policymakers and power wielders. Through research and analysis, as well as the work of our centers in direct contact with the poor, we help bridge the gap between rich and poor in our country. My personal journey. The icons of social science in my early years at the Ateneo were Father Jaime Bulataw in psychology and Father Frank Lynch, Mary Racelis, then Hohensteiner, and Father Carroll in sociology. The Institute of Philippine Culture was the premier social science research institute in the Philippines. These were pioneers doing very important work on Philippine culture and personality. They were renowned researchers, but also fantastic teachers. My home was the psychology department, and this was on the ground floor of Bellarmine Hall. As faculty member of the psych department, one was exposed to a wide variety of students. Introduction to psychology was part of the core curriculum. Psychology was one of the most popular undergraduate majors, and the graduate programs in psychology had the largest enrollment. Thus, teaching at the Ateneo Psych Department was a great adventure that brought me in contact with freshmen and sophomores in all disciplines, psychology majors, and master's and PhD students. I taught introduction to psychology to students in business, economics, management engineering, and others. Handling Psi 11 classes for the AB sections, I would teach young seminarians in the pre-divinity program. So now I am assured that I have a well-loved cardinal, a fearless bishop, and many priests, including some Jesuits, praying for me. I hope. I love the work. Aside from teaching, I found developing our degree programs very fulfilling. Our undergraduate program started out as a behavioral science major, shared with sociology and anthropology. I remember an innovative and exciting experiment, a multidisciplinary introductory course in behavioral science, team taught by the icons, Bulataw, Lynch, Hohensteiner, and held in the auditorium with hundreds of students. When psychology became a separate major, among those in our first batches of undergraduates were Marisa Ginto, who introduced me, now a sports psychologist and faculty member at the College of Human Kinetics at the UP, and Father Johnny Go, former president of Xavier School and currently director of the SALT Institute that organized this event. Work at the MA level meant developing professionally oriented programs in areas such as clinical and counseling psychology, industrial and organizational psychology, child and family psychology, social and community psychology. These attracted talented graduates from other universities to the Ateneo for graduate school. Edna Franco came with a large cohort from the UP. Lota Te and Mila Dula-Grossa, Mila's here, from UST. Ana Marian Gonzalez Intal from Philippine Women's University. Lulu or Maria Llanesa Ramos from Ateneo de Davao. Tina Jaime Montiel from Maryknoll. I am proud to have been their teacher and mentor and to have recruited them into the faculty of this department when I was chair. While we developed the professional degrees at the master's level, we also saw the need to develop the more academic and research-oriented PhD degrees in clinical and in social psychology. Most of those whom I mentioned earlier went on for their PhDs in the department. Excuse me. Applying psychology to national development was a commitment for me. We set up the social and community psychology program and worked with development groups. Social psychologists began to be found not just in academia or in corporations, but in government, NGOs, and development agencies as well. As a young psychologist, aside from teaching, I could be doing research or training in support of land reform programs, basic ecclesial communities, disaster rehabilitation, and legislation. Of course, it helped that I was in social psychology and that I was in the Ateneo. The Human Resources Center, now called Center for Organizational Research and Development, was set up as the practicum and outreach arm of the social psychology programs, through which theoretical knowledge of human behavior was translated into applicable tools for organizations and communities, and psychology faculty and graduate students could apply and share their knowledge through training, research, and organizational development. I believe that psychology at the Ateneo combines the best of the discipline, science and art, scholarship and practice, basic and applied, training rigorous scientists and competent professionals who were both passionate and compassionate. This unusual combination can be attributed to Father Bulatao, its founder, who was a unique combination of these important aspects of psychology. Father Bu was a committed scientist grounded in experimental psychology. At the same time, throughout his career, he was a highly developed, highly effective, and much sought-after psychotherapist, working with people's subjective experiences, their belief systems, their states of consciousness. Countless clients from all walks of life would come to the psychology department for therapy sessions. There with Father Bu, they could talk with duendes, gaze into crystal balls, experience astral travel, or simply go through the conventional therapist-patient sessions. I owe much to my mentors. Father Bu made psychology so exciting. He was like a Pied Piper enticing people into psychology, and he was shameless. If he met a bright person, he would say, "Why are you not in psychology? The good people are in psychology." In the area of social involvement, I must acknowledge Father Francisco Araneta, who was president when I joined the Ateneo. He focused on helping the poor and making the Ateneo relevant. I spent many a summer as director of one of his projects, the Ateneo Summer Institute for Social Action, or ASISA. And I was vice president, Freudian slip there, to two extraordinary Jesuits, Father Joaquin Bernas and Father Bienvenido Nebres. Very different presidents in their management styles, but both so brilliant and committed to our country. I learned a lot from students as well. I learned that often the greater challenge in the university is not the outliers, the star performers, or those way behind, but the average, ordinary student who all too often may go unnoticed. I learned how some attention from a teacher or mentor can do wonders for the development of people and bring out the best in them. It is easy to see the talent in our extraordinary students, the most brilliant, the most gifted, the best athletes, even the most socially involved. And it is always a pleasure working with them. But after many years at the Ateneo, I decided I wanted to be an apostle to the average. Often I had to make the point to colleagues so focused on those with the highest IQs or the best grades that these students will do well regardless of their teachers. The real challenge was to work with regular students and bring out the best in them. I also felt that I should warn against being so rigid about academic standards that we lose sight of the wonderful potential of ordinary students. Obviously, those accepted into the Ateneo are bright, but they can be somewhat frivolous, sometimes a bit lazy, sometimes they fall in love, sometimes their hearts are broken. In other words, they act like typical teenagers and grades suffer. I used to have these running battles with the standards committee appealing for a second chance for such students. Teaching at the Ateneo often means eventual appointment into administration. With me, this came rather early, so I used to say I never had a youth, since as a new and young faculty member, I became the chair of the psychology department early. In my later years, I also served as academic vice president. In my work as administrator, much of my energy was spent recruiting, supporting, and recognizing people, fighting to keep them, and at times even to bring them back after they had left. As academic vice president, I was involved in a number of memorable innovations and projects. I wish I could name them all, such as international programs, the Ateneo Center for Educational Development, and the Ateneo Library of Women's Writings, or ALIO. In the year 2000, 3 years after I had left the Ateneo to become president of Miriam College, the Ateneo bestowed on me the greatest honor of my career, the Doctor of Humanities honoris causa. The Ateneo had always been a major part of who I was. It was home to me for most of my adult life, and I had raised a family here. Here I grew professionally and personally. And this was where my friends were. I had dreamed and schemed Ateneo for decades. But my one regret was that I did not have an Ateneo degree. Finally, in March of the new millennium, as I addressed the graduating class that included my son Carlo, I shared with them how incredibly happy and proud I was to join them as part of Ateneo's batch 2000. I end my Ateneo story with some dreams for the Ateneo. I dream of an Ateneo recognized as one of the leading universities in Asia. I do have strong reservations about global university rankings, but I believe that a major national university like the Ateneo cannot ignore them. But neither can we allow rankings to run our lives. So perhaps my dream is that Ateneo be a model of that difficult, but I hope not impossible, combination of performance on the research-focused metrics emphasized by global ranking systems without negative impact on other important things that we value as a university, such as teaching, formation, and well-being of students, and social relevance and involvement. Yes, I dream of an Ateneo with greater engagement and visibility in all aspects of national life, whose voice is raised and heard on matters macro or micro that affect our country. This voice may come from the institution, from individual faculty, or from our graduates, and expressed in various forms, the most important of which is what is said and lived day to day. I dream of an Ateneo that is the assignment of choice for young Jesuits. I don't see any here. Any Jesuit for that matter. We have to get the Jesuits into the Ateneo early in their careers and get them loving it. I wish for young Jesuits, as well as those not so young, to see the importance and value of the Ateneo and to recognize its unique and special role in the life of the nation. I dream of an Ateneo which is a happy place for all students and all who work here, and an Ateneo experience that is pleasant, engaging, and meaningful. I dream of student well-being and happiness that is not merely a byproduct of an Ateneo education, but a definite and explicit goal, supported by proper structures and programs. During these times of stress, of high stress, and widespread depression, student well-being and happiness should be a top priority. But enough for now. Oh, one last dream. I dream of another Blue Eagle Championship for this UAAP season. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you, Dr. Licuanan, for that beautiful tour of history and the future. To introduce our next speaker, we have an alumna who met our next speaker when she took his Theo 141 course. She is a philosophy major from batch 97 and is currently the regional manager for Trace International. To introduce our next speaker, please join me in welcoming Attorney Michelle Juan.
Thank you, Calvin. Wait. It's the wrong introduction. Na-stress. All right. Anyway, the show must go on. Magandang hapon. I often wonder if it's hard to be the Bobby Guevara. To have generations of Ateneans, he's gonna hate this introduction, to have generations of Ateneans call you legendary, life-changing, unforgettable, an inspiration, the epitome of magis. Hirap siguro nun. How does one live up to that in the day-to-day? I told him once, I don't know how you have the energy to be inspiring when I can just barely get through my day. And knowing him now for 20-odd years or so, I know how he does it. Mahjong. It's lots and lots of mahjong. Mahjong and karaoke is the secret to Bobby Guevara. Being his student is very, very difficult. Not just academically, no? Although that's pretty difficult. He's very demanding. There's a mountain of readings. And after all the effort, sir, pasensya ka na, dala-dala ko pa rin hanggang ngayon, B+ lang ako. Sana na lang you asked your A students to introduce you, di ba? Pero ganon talaga. But more importantly, magpapatawa lang ako. But more importantly and seriously, si Sir Bob, as we call him, really challenges the way you think. He asks you to, and I've taken his class, 22 years ago, to take a radical leap in understanding. Every year, he walks into class and tells a group of privileged Ateneans that we are loved first by God, that we are blessed and privileged because we have food in our bellies and a roof over our heads, that we have dreams and choices. That's what he teaches first. But right outside our doors, God's people are crying out. He invites you to think about the widow, the orphan, the stranger, those people that society has left behind. That every day for OFWs, for indigenous peoples, for farmers, for fishermen, every day they struggle just to live. In a talk that he gave that I read online, sabi niya, habang nagpapakyut tayo dito, people are dying. I don't know if that's really you, but siguro it's applicable now, no? Habang nagpapakyut tayo, habang we're congratulating ourselves for being Ateneans, people are starving. Imagine what it is to sit in that class. It's very uncomfortable. And I think that's what he wants, no? That's what he wants. He wants us to be uncomfortable. In his class, you encounter the poor not as other, not as nameless, faceless statistic, but as individuals with hopes and with dreams. They have families, they have struggles, they have heartbreaks. They're not lazy, they're not unlucky, they're not a swarming mass. And we, his students, realize that but for the grace of God and an accident of birth, we are them, they are us. So he asks in his class, can you do more? Can God's love lead you to love others more? Can you be more generous, more compassionate? Can you take on the struggles of the poor as your own? So his students we try to do more. They go on to be teachers and public servants and social workers. They run NGOs, they are lawyers and doctors, they're captains of industry. And when life breaks their hearts, when the world changes them, before they can change the world, they come back to Bob for consolation. In the last 20 years, we've done some things. We have climbed mountains, we've crossed rivers, we've built schools, run workshops, packed relief goods, slept on trucks. I've done things I've never thought I would do and I never wanted to do. Like I slept on the ground, I dug a hole because there was no bathroom, I drank beer surrounded by flying ipis, I've had to eat a monkey in the area. Ours is a lopsided relationship. Occasionally, I feed him, and then when I'm crushed by the world on a regular basis, he puts me back together again. It must be terribly frustrating to be Bobby Guevara and see the Philippine situation today. To see indifference and apathy and fake news. To see that marginalized are still marginalized. To have all this talent and energy and intellect, but to have not fixed the world yet. I don't know how he does it, really, that he doesn't give in to discouragement, hopelessness, and anger. But here's another of Bobby Gev's, very famous sayings. Whatever life throws your way, patuloy lang. And I also know he derives consolation from his family, especially from his wife, who is a saint on earth, and from his students. I wonder if he has any regrets about the life he's chosen. And I think if he does, if there are regrets, he only wonders if he could have done more and helped more and touched more lives. So who is Bobby Guevara to me? To me, sir, you are the North Star. He is the voice in my head that reminds me to dream bigger dreams, to take more chances, to find your meaning and purpose. He's there asking me to make more life-giving choices. And he's the thorn in my side, asking me every day to give more, do more, love more. In him, because of him, I know the love of the Father. So, sir, on behalf of all of your students, know this. You are well-loved and well worth loving. Ladies and gentlemen, Bobby Guevara.
Maraming salamat, MJ. Parang patay yung pinapakilala eh. Alam mo yun, yung parang whenever I'm introduced that way, all I tell people is, Marichi is here, you can ask her, no? And she will tell you the truth. Pero maraming salamat, MJ, no? I thought I'd begin with a confession for the sake of transparency. 30 plus years into teaching, at the end of every SEM, I still use a record book, a pencil, and a calculator to compute my students' grades. No, I don't know how many faculties still do that. No, so when I was invited by Jen for this symposium, ang una ko sinabi kay Jen, hindi yata ako bagay dyan. If the title of the symposium was Teaching Old, tapos rooted in tradition, medyo kaya ko yon, no? Pero yung title niya, Teaching New Innovation Rooted in Tradition, no? And parang I told Jen, parang I don't think I'm the right person for this. And then she said, you know, sir, you might want to look at the new and innovation in a different light, no? So I thought, oo nga, no? Baka pwede kong pagnilayan yung teaching new at yung innovation in light of the work of formation. No? And I thought, in preparing for this short talk, sabi ko, baka magandang magsimula ako dun sa boses ng mga estudyante ko. So what I tried to do was, I went back to letters from way back. And then I looked at the pabaon cards, no? And the pabaon cards began sometime in 2007. No? And at the end of every year, students are given a card that they write on to actually give to someone in the Loyola schools that they want to thank. And I thought I would build the talk around some of these pabaon cards. So I'll begin. Yung unang dalawa, this first one I got is dated October 14, 1987. So this is the first SEM I taught in the Loyola schools. No? Just an excerpt from this, sabi niya, sa pamamagitan mo, mas ipinakilala ng poon ang kanyang sarili, ang mga mahihirap, at pati na rin ang aking sarili sa aking sarili. No? And then, in a pabaon card dated 2010, parang this student said, Sir Bobby Gev, sa sandaling panahon na naging estudyante mo ako, nabago ninyo ang pananaw ko tungkol sa mundo, sa kapwa ko, sa sarili ko, at sa Diyos. When I read these two letters, and other letters that seem to convey something similar, naisip ko, baka yun yung pwedeng gamiting pivot sa hapong ito. Teaching new innovation rooted in tradition. Baka pwedeng teaching as accompanying people to see differently. Yung mismong pagsabay sa mga tao na tumingin sa isang panibagong paraan. So I thought I'd build points around that basic image, no? And if you go back to the letters, tatlong bagay yung sinasabi, no? Parang a new way of seeing oneself, a new way of seeing one's God, and a new way of seeing the poor, no? So siguro yun yung tatlong parang pivot ko sa hapong ito, no? Itong picture na ito, Louis, tama ba? From 7 years back, no? Si Louis Julian nandyan, si John Lennon nandyan. They're now colleagues in the theology department. Many of the students in that class went on to medical school, no? Sunod ko rito, to teach is to help others see themselves in a new light. So ito yung second batch ng mga pabaon cards, no? Tatlong may ikling snippets. Sabi nung isang estudyante dated 2007, salamat sa pagtulong ninyo sa aking mahanap ang aking sarili. And then just this last school year, Pabaon 2019, one student wrote, "Salamat. Dahil sa inyo, natuto akong mahalin ang sarili ko." And then this third one, this is Pabaon 2011, sabi ng estudyante, "Sir, simple lang naman ang gusto kong sabihin. Maraming salamat sa pagtitiwalang kaya ko. Maraming salamat sa paniniwalang sapat ako." I've taught here since 1987. When I was beginning, I would have 5 class of 40 students each. No? So on average, I would be teaching 200 students per semester. No? I don't know how many students I've been very graced to actually accompany. No? I think they're in the thousands. No? And they've been gift. No? But, one of the most difficult times is when you get a chance to talk to students in depth. No? And you hear a recurring script where so many of them actually spend their lives thinking that they're not good enough. No? The older I get, the more I'm struck by this quote from Henry Nouwen. Sabi ni Henry Nouwen, no? The greatest trap in our life, it's not success, it's not popularity, it's not power. Sabi niya, the greatest trap in our life is self-rejection. No? And I've come across so many students, wonderful young men and women, parang who carry in their minds and in their hearts, this script that says, parang I'm not good enough, no? Parang yung mga salitang naririnig ko from them, no? Parang kulang ako, wala akong kwenta. May isang estudyante, ang gamit niyang salita, patapon yung buhay ko. May isang estudyante, sabi niya, basura ako, no? But that sense of parang not being good enough, no? And I've always been struck by that, no? Parang iniisip ko, alam mo si Ignacio, yun din yung naging karanasan eh. Di ba, if you follow Ignatius' story, di ba? The cannonball, the conversion at Loyola. And then he goes to Montserrat, di ba? He offers his sword to the lady. And then parang passes by Manresa, stays there for 11 months. And then if you read the autobiography, no, it will say, parang, alam mo, in Manresa, he's haunted by his past. No? Parang he falls into parang this fixation on so many things, no, scruples. No? Ang dami niya kasalanan, may hindi pa siya nakumpisal. No? Parang minumulto siya. No? He stopped cutting his hair. He stopped cutting his nails. Tapos parang at one point in the autobiography, sabi doon, parang he thought about throwing himself through a hole in the wall, no? Which was just parang figurative way of saying he almost took his life, no? He almost took his life, no? Si Ignacio, no? And then there's this text in the autobiography where you read, "In this way the Lord deigned that he awake us from sleep." And I've always wondered, no? Parang what was his sleep? Diba? What was the illusion? Parang what was his dream, no? And I think his sleep, his illusion, his dream was the belief, the mistaken belief that he had to win his worth. That he had to win his worth. Na kailangan niyang patunayan yung halaga niya. And I think about the many students I've been graced to accompany and I say, no? Parang for so many of them, no? Parang the struggle has been to try to win one's worth. No? Sinulat ko rito, no? Parang the older I get, parang the more I'm convinced, although I could still be wrong, no? The more I'm convinced that the root of many of our unfreedoms, I think the root of many of our unfreedoms is our refusal to believe that we are worth being loved. No? I think the root of many of our unfreedoms is our refusal to believe that we are worth being loved. And I tell people, the moment you begin to doubt your goodness, the moment you begin to think that you're not worth being loved, you end up doing crazy things, no? To try to prove that you're good and that you're worth loving, no? and you end up being enslaved rather than saved. No? And I wonder whether that's an important part of the journey of accompaniment, no? To help our students, to help one another, actually see ourselves in a new light. No? And I think that's what those students were saying in their pabaon card. No? Yung pangalawa, I think to teach is to help others experience God in a personal way. Yeah, I don't think I would have said this 30 years ago. No? I mean, 30 years ago, I was, magtaya tayo. No? Munta tayo doon sa mga komunidad, baguhin natin yung lipunan, baguhin natin yung mundo. Naniniwala pa rin ako doon hanggang ngayon. Pero, sa akin, mahalaga rin ito. No? I'll read again the next batch of pabaon cards, no, pertaining to the second point. Sabi ng isang estudyante, "Hi, Sir Bobby Gev. I started the semester with you considering myself an agnostic. I never got to explain myself as to why. Then the sem ends and I recall your prodigal son lecture and I knew why. I was too proud to accept God's love. Thank you for reminding me what it feels like to be loved by God. Thank you for the lecture that helped me accept God's love." Another pabaon card. "Dear Sir Bobby Guevara, hindi niyo ako naging estudyante. But fortunately, during my coming home retreat, you were there to give your prodigal son lecture. That weekend changed my life and my faith." And then a third student, pabaon 2017. "Dahil sa inyo, mas nakilala ko po ang Diyos, ang naunang pagmamahal. Salamat po kasi sa panahong halos mabaliw na ako. Ang katotohanan yon ang bumuhay sa akin." I don't remember when the prodigal son lecture began. No, I have no idea when it began. No, I know it was from loose notes from Father Vic Baltasar, and then I chanced upon the great Eddie Boy Calasanz in the Loyola School of Theology Library, and then he showed me this book by Henry Nouwen, and then Eddie Boy said, "Basahin mo." Hindi ba? At pag sinabi ni Eddie Boy, hindi ba, sunod ka, no? And so the prodigal son lecture began in class, and it was strange. No? It was magical. No? I mean, you do the lecture and people are crying. No? Former students sit in. They bring their friends. They bring their girlfriends, their boyfriends, their partners. They bring their mothers. No? Last sem, in the lecture, there was one student who brought his entire family. No? Father, mother, siblings. No? And 4 years ago, we said, maybe we should make this into an overnight retreat. And it became an overnight retreat. No? First for students, then for our employees, and then for everyone who was interested. No? And I was once asked, ano ba nangyayari dyan? Ano yung kulto? No? Ano ba nangyayari dyan? Ang sagot ko sa mga tao, hanggang ngayon hindi ko mapaliwanag eh. Hanggang ngayon hindi ko mapaliwanag. Di ba when you teach, when you say something in class and then parang a student's eyes brighten up and you say, "Uy, okay, may nasabi ako." Hindi ba? Di ba? Pero alam mo doon sa prodigal son, talagang para kang nanonood na gumalaw yung Diyos sa buhay ng mga tao. No? And there's this quote again from Ignatius. Di ba sabi ni Ignatius, no? "It is not knowledge that fills and satisfies the soul, but the inner relish of things." No? Di ba we always talk about parang our existence here and our mission and identity as ultimately rooted in Ignatian spirituality. At 57, I am convinced Ignatian spirituality is primarily an experience. No? It's primarily an experience. No? I think our image of God parang shapes how we live our life. No? Si Ignacio, naniniwala naman siya sa Diyos eh. Di ba? Pero yung Diyos na pinaniniwala niya sa Manresa, di ba, was a God whom he felt he had to prove his worth to. And where did that bring him? It brought him to the brink of death. No? Kailan siya nagbago? Nung nagbago yung karanasan niya yung Diyos. When he experienced God, he discovered his real self. No? He discovered his real self. No? And he realized that the invitation was for him to learn to receive. Not to learn to receive. For 30 plus years, I thought the message in Theo 141 was to tell the students, give. No? I still believe that. No? But now, because of this experience, parang I feel that a prior invitation is for students to learn how to receive. Receive. Because a heart that is full will not even have to ask if it should give. A heart that is full will not even have to ask if it should give. Yung parang tag slide ng Coming Home, ito siya, no? Sabi ni Henry Nauen, no? Parang we are not what we do, we are not what we have, we are not what others think of us. Sabi ko sa mga seniors, you are not your grad picture, no? Coming Home is claiming the truth, I am the beloved child of the Creator. Parang inisip ko nga, no? Parang, it doesn't matter whether you love God or not, eh. Parang, I think the fundamental truth is that God loves you. And that makes the difference, no? And that makes the difference, no? Sige, huling punto. Final set of pabaon cards. Naging guro ko po kayo sa panahon kung saan alam ko namang may kailangan akong gawin para sa mas nakalalawak na lipunan. Ngunit hindi ko alam kung saan huhugot ng sapat na lakas upang gawin ito ng buong buo. Dati po, teorya at kalaman ang gumagabay sa pagkilos ko. Pero nung nakilala ko po muli si Jesus sa panibagong paraan, alam kong hindi na lamang sapat ang sarili kong nalalaman. No? The third point I wanted to actually bring out, that to teach is to help others encounter the poor more deeply. No? Gabaldon and our experiences with the Dumagats, which lasted for 30 years, parang shaped our hearts, no? MJ's included. No? There we encountered the poor in a deeper way. There we learned to see the poor in a new light. There we learned to learn from the poor. And there we also, in a sense, saw that our liberation is intimately tied up to theirs. So, sabi ni Ignacio, love consists in mutual sharing and manifests itself in deeds. Now, in a world so torn apart by rivalry, anger, hatred, we have the privileged vocation to be living signs of a love that can bridge all divisions and heal all wounds. I've had the chance to accompany Father Ben in Marawi just twice, stay overnight, and I'm just so inspired by the heroic work that they do there. No? Sa Caloocan Mission Stations, si Paring Bert nandito. No? There is so much that has to be done. No? I end with this quote. No? If you have come to help me, you are wasting your time. But if you have come because your liberation is bound up with mine, then let us work together. No? I think it captures much of what this encounter with the poor means. No? Ito yung quote na nabanggit ni MJ. No? My prayer as final point, una maraming salamat sa lahat ng makasama ko sa paglalakbay na ito. May we continue to love more deeply. May we continue to love more bravely. No? And may we open ourselves up to that love that will truly fill all of us up. No? So maraming salamat, no, sa pagkakataong ito.
Mga Katipuneros, it's time to level up! Your talk variety program showcasing the best in media and other fields. As we feature the most loved personalities and the best practices of what we truly refer to as Magis. Together with multi-awarded multimedia guru Mr. Noel Ferrer, let's all level up every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.